I'm going to become a giant in the entertainment industry despite the losses. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 1. Isn't this rebirth a bit inhuman? Finally paid off. Yang Ruoqian looked at the company's healthy financial statements and the bank loan number turned to zero and let out a long roar. 10 years. Do you know how I have been doing in these 10 years? 10 years ago, when the real estate market was booming, Yang Ruoqian mortgaged the house that his parents bought at a low price a few years ago and ambitiously followed the trend and opened a company selling live broadcast equipment. In the end, amid the crazy rollout of countless companies and the downward trend of the live broadcast industry, he almost lost everything. For 10 years, he walked on thin ice every day and finally turned a company with a debt of tens of millions, monthly losses, and on the verge of bankruptcy into a healthy and profitable enterprise. Relying on meager profits, he slowly repaid the loans until today. All the loans have been paid off. Healthy debt is conducive to expanding production. But after a tight life for 10 years, Yang Ruoqian, who works at least 12 hours a day, no longer has the extra energy to run the company. He now just wants to sell this small company with good profitability, exchange it for cash, and enjoy the rest of his life. Today I'm rewarding myself by leaving. Get off work early. Yang Ruoqian closed his laptop and just stood up, but his heart suddenly ached. His vision was quickly occupied by darkness, and his whole body collapsed uncontrollably. With a thud, Yang Ruoqian fell to the ground. In his last moments, he could only hear a sharp tinnitus in his ears, and his consciousness gradually blurred. Snap. As if he had dozed off in class, and suddenly woke up when his head drooped. Yang Ruoqian's eyes suddenly opened, and his hands unconsciously grabbed a handful of things on the table. But he found that the surrounding environment had not changed much, and he was still sitting in the same chair. But for some reason, the office was much newer. I almost died suddenly. Yang Ruoqian wiped the sweat from his forehead and looked around at the clean and tidy environment. The cleaning lady didn't think I fell asleep, did she? The door of the office was suddenly pushed open, and a middle-aged man walked in and placed the documents in his hand on Yang Ruoqian's desk. Boss Yang, this is my resignation report. Yang Ruoqian was stunned. It wasn't because someone resigned that he was stunned, but because he didn't recognize the person in front of him at all. Who are you? Are you from my company and you're resigning? Suppressing his doubts, Yang Ruoqian took the resignation report and glanced at it roughly. When his eyes came to the signature column, the three words Chendanqiang came into his eyes. Yang Ruoqian only felt familiar, but he couldn't remember what was familiar about it until he saw the time behind the signature. March 10th, 2015. Wait, 2015. The string in Yang Ruoqian's mind was broken at once. March 10, 2015. Wasn't that exactly the date when his company was on the verge of bankruptcy 10 years ago? It seemed that at that time, a salesman named Chendanqiang came to hand in his resignation letter. No way. I won't go back to the stage where the company is about to go bankrupt when I have worked so hard to solve the company's difficulties and I'm about to start enjoying my life. Yang Ruoqian's mind was buzzing, and he casually signed the resignation report and asked Chendanqiang to go to the human resources department to handle the resignation procedures. After watching Chendanqiang leave the office, Yang Ruoqian immediately opened his brand new laptop and began to check the time. After a comprehensive judgment, Yang Ruoqian determined that he had really been reborn back to the year when he had just graduated from college and was at the bottom of his career. Next door. Yang Ruoqian almost cursed. What does this feeling feel like? Just like a person spent 10 hours to pass a difficult level in a game and then didn't save the game. Who can understand this extremely disgusting feeling? Exclamation mark. No, it's not that exaggerated. Yang Ruoqian immediately calmed down. At least I know which stocks can rise and what financial products can make a lot of money. At most, I can make up for the deficit in a few months so that I won't get nothing. Then, Yang Ruoqian was dumbfounded when he opened the stock app. What is Tengshan Company? What is Alibaba? Looking at those familiar yet unfamiliar company names, Yang Ruoqian's mentality completely collapsed. After a rebirth of love, the whole world is different, right? This world can only be said to be highly similar to the previous life, but there are many differences in the details, which directly blocked Yang Ruoqian's fantasy of taking shortcuts. Want to trade stocks according to the memory of the previous life? Wait for your pants to be paid. No, not only that. If the whole world has changed, then directly copying the old way of the previous life and slowly saving the company in 10 years may not work. I don't want to play anymore. Let's restart. Yang Ruoqian was desperate. See which rope is suitable for me. At this moment, a few lines of small words suddenly appeared in the lower right corner of Yang Ruoqian's vision. 18-line artist training system. Host, Yang Ruoqian. Company funds. 200,000, replenished to 200,000 at the end of each month. Warning, this fund cannot be used to repay loans. The system will assess the artist level, passer-B, big flops, small flops, obscure small big, celebrity, superstar, according to the real fans of the host's artists, including actors, singers, and anchors, every month, and issue bonuses to the host's personal account and company account respectively. The less famous the host's artist is, the higher the bonus. Passer-B, less than 10,000 fans, bonus 50 million. Big flops, 10,000 fans, bonus 5 million. Small flops, 50,000 fans, bonus 500,000. Unknown celebrities, 100,000 fans, bonus 50,000. Small celebrities, 500,000 fans, bonus 5,000. Big celebrities, 1 million fans, bonus 500. Stars, 5 million fans, bonus 50. Superstars, more than 50 million fans, bonus 5. Only one anchor and artist are allowed to be recruited per month. Please choose carefully. Note that the host must operate normally its artists. The system will mark the artists and anchors that the host can recruit. In addition, no rewards will be issued. The host is not allowed to pay himself in any direct or indirect way. It is strictly forbidden to delay the operation of the artists in any way. The following 213 behaviors are violations. This is. Yang Ruoqian looked at the panel, and his face, which was originally as pale as death, suddenly brightened up, golden finger, as if he had grabbed a life-saving straw. Yang Ruoqian stared at the entry on the panel and read it word by word. Artist training system, but it is reverse. The less popular the artist is, the more profit I can make. Only those who are recognized by the system can be recruited, which means that there is no way to just find a passer-B to get by. The 213 violations cover all aspects, cutting off the possibility of all other cheating and bugs. Only by operating an unknown artist honestly and seriously can you get rewards. I had such a hard time in my previous life, because there were too many companies involved, and the live broadcast industry as a whole began to be saturated, and resources were concentrated in the head. Yang Ruoqian said to himself, then if I enter the live broadcast industry now, won't it be a matter of supporting one anchor, and sinking another anchor? Doesn't it mean that I can grab huge profits from the system? This business can be done. It has a future. At least it is much more promising than starting from scratch and struggling for another 10 years. After making up his mind, Yang Ruoqian called the only 4 remaining employees of the company and announced a great piece of good news to them. Due to the company's current poor business performance, after careful consideration, I have decided to open up new ideas, expand the company's business channels, and enter the blue ocean market. Mr. Yang, please speak frankly. We are very busy. We can't just be satisfied with the supply of live broadcast equipment. We must directly enter the live broadcast industry and the entertainment industry. Chapter 2. I support all your ideas. In the conference room, everyone was silent for a moment. 2 salesmen, one from HR and one from finance, looked at each other and saw the same meaning in their eyes. One salesman raised his hand and said, Boss Yang, I suddenly remembered that my wife is about to give birth, and I have to go back to take care of her. You can decide who to hand over the company's affairs to. Yang Ruoqian had expected the employees' reactions, so he didn't point it out, but just nodded and said, "Family first. What about you?" Another salesman immediately said, "Boss Yang, my wife is about to give birth too." "Me too." So, after Yang Ruoqian's shocking speech, except for the pretty girl from ours who didn't leave, the other three handed in their resignation reports and fled from this doomed company. Chang Ziking, what about you? After watching the three people leave, Yang Ruoqian turned around and looked at Chang Ziking, the only one who didn't speak, and asked jokingly, "Unfortunately, this girl's head was not marked as available for recruitment." Yang Ruoqian guessed that only those who wanted to be artists in their hearts and were working hard for it would be marked as available for recruitment. In the previous life, Chang Ziking was the only employee who had been with the company for a full 10 years. In the most difficult times, this lively and beautiful girl who was known for her ability to tidy up the workplace even agreed to Yang Ruoqian's request for free overtime. Although she was called a personnel person, she actually took on almost all the dirty and tiring work. Not only were they classmates from different departments in the same university, Chang Ziking was also a tenant of Yang Ruoqian's house, so they were indeed very familiar friends. "Landlord, I don't plan to leave. But, should I think about entering the entertainment industry again?" Chang Ziking rubbed her forehead and said helplessly, "Do you know the capital threshold for opening a media company? Let alone traffic superstars. Do you know the annual salary of a top anchor? Do you know how much it costs to poach someone? If you want to start from scratch, do you know how many resources it takes to make an artist popular? Do you know?" A series of questions had only one meaning. Even if Yang Ruoqian sold himself in a package, he would not be able to reach the entry threshold of this industry. The girl said a lot, expounding on the pros and cons. In short, she strongly advised Yang Ruoqian to give up this unrealistic fantasy. Yang Ruoqian listened to the girl's well-reasoned analysis, and he became more and more determined to start this company. Anyone would think that starting an entertainment media company has no future, and that it is very difficult to make an artist popular. Wouldn't it be a good opportunity to take advantage of the system and make a lot of money? Wouldn't it be close to repaying the loan and becoming rich overnight? A long-lost entrepreneurial enthusiasm slowly ignited in Yang Ruoqian's heart. "You have to believe in my vision." As a person who was reborn from the future to 2015, Yang Ruoqian knew the direction of the trend of the times in the next 10 years. As long as he went against the trend, would he be afraid that his artists would not be popular? It's not easy to become popular these days, and it's even harder to stay popular. But others don't know that Yang Ruoqian has such a system. Seeing that Yang Ruoqian was stubborn, Chang Ziking covered her forehead in despair and said, "It's over. The cheap rent is gone." Yang Ruoqian, who had gone through the most difficult 10 years, had an extremely good mentality. He looked at the 200,000 funds sent by the system to the company's account and typed out a long shopping list on the computer. Anyway, the money distributed by the system to the company account cannot be transferred to one's own pocket in any form. The funds for the next month will be supplemented to 200,000. If it cannot be spent, it is almost equivalent to a total waste. It is better to spend it than not to spend it. The soundproofing panels for the live broadcast room, the renovation costs of the live broadcast room, etc. After formulating the purchase plan, Yang Ruoqian found that there was still a lot of money left on the account because his company was engaged in live broadcast equipment. Expensive equipment such as sound cards, microphones, computers, and cameras were already made, and there was no need to spend much money to purchase them. No, we must squeeze out all the surplus value of the system, then buy something else until all the money on the account is spent. Guided by this idea, Yang Ruoqian finally made a shopping list. Since we are going to develop in the direction of entertainment media, we have to buy some new equipment. Yang Ruoqian connected the printer remotely, printed out a long shopping list, and said to Chang Ziking, "We also need to set up a subsidiary company. You can do it in the next 2 days." Chang Ziking took the list, wrinkled her beautiful nose, and muttered, "You will lose money." Then, she looked at the list in her hand, and fell into silence for a moment. When Yang Ruoqian wanted to rent this high-end office building with an area of 400 square meters in the city center, Chang Ziking had advised him kindly, but he was young and frivolous at that time, and this suggestion was directly ignored. Perhaps because of sentiment, or perhaps because of the last bit of pride, Yang Ruoqian never moved the company. 2015 is the starting year for the skyrocketing rent of office buildings. The price is not too outrageous for the time being. At less than 20,000 yuan a month, the company will not be unable to pay it, even if it is in trouble. When the rent skyrocketed a few years later, Yang Ruoqian's company basically got out of the quagmire of bankruptcy, and the extra 10,000 yuan per month was no longer a big deal. The venue is related to the company's image and working environment, which is understandable. But what's the situation with this purchase list? Exclamation mark. Is there so much money in the company's account? Even if there is, it can't be squandered like this. Boss, are you crazy? Chang Ziking exclaimed, calling Yang Ruoqian back from his memories. Entertainment room, tea room, coffee shop, fitness room, exhibition hall. Do these things have anything to do with work? There is also a new batch of desks. The degree of privacy is so high that those who don't know would think they are protecting some state secrets. With such privacy protection conditions, it would be strange if the employees didn't take revenge and slack off. Such a scene is really a sign of the destruction of the country, the destruction of the company. Chang Ziking was so angry that her head was dizzy. Why don't you just stop the whole bar? It will be more convenient for employees to slack off. Yang Ruoqian was overjoyed. That makes sense. Add the bar to the shopping list. Go buy it. Boss, don't be so upset. However, what Chang Ziking didn't know was that the more she felt that the company was going to end, the more she affirmed Yang Ruoqian. A favorable environment will make employees unconsciously slack off, which can effectively reduce work efficiency and make the artists under the company even more obscure. As long as the number of real fans of the artists or anchors recruited is less than 10,000 at the Pasabi level, Yang Ruoqian will be financially free in a month. Even if you accidentally increase your fans, as long as it does not exceed 100,000, the 5 million bonus received is also a very impressive figure, which is enough to pay off all loans in 2 months. According to the description of the system, the bonus is divided into 2 parts, one to the personal account and the other to the company account. In other words, an artist at the Pasabi level can bring in a cash flow of 100 million per month. 100 million cash a month. What is the concept? How many companies in the world can do this? Not to mention saving the company from the brink of bankruptcy. With a little more time, the company will definitely be able to secure its place in the Fortune 500. Even if it is a second tier big flop, it will still be worth 10 million. Yang Ruoqian was immersed in his ambition to get rich overnight and be in the Fortune 500 and turned a deaf ear to Chang Ziking's advice. Chang Ziking, what is your major? What a spendthrift. Seeing that Yang Ruoqian was unmoved, Chang Ziking sighed in her heart and replied, computer science. What's wrong? It's called human resources, but there are not so many things to do in the human resources department of a small company. Chang Ziking has to hold more than 1 or 2 positions on a daily basis. How much do you know about the entertainment industry? Chang Ziking rolled her eyes. I know about Hammer. I know about it. Chapter 3, Prosperity. Chang Ziking's major is to develop software and make a website. She is good at it. She can also do some human resources. As for the entertainment industry, it can't be said that she is not familiar with it, but she knows nothing about it. Hearing this, Yang Ruoqian was overjoyed. Aren't we going to open an entertainment media subsidiary? You don't have to do human resources, just be the director of the brand promotion department. Are you okay, landlord? The girl's tone carried a hint of care for the patient. Do you think you are not going bankrupt fast enough? Yang Ruoqian sneered and said, 20,000 a month after tax, no liability guaranteed salary, 5 insurances and 1 housing fund are all covered. Sign the labor contract now, and you will be compensated to N+1 if you are fired. You can say whether you want to work or not. In the previous life, Chang Ziking worked hard and spent the most precious 10 years of a girl's youth in Yang Ruoqian's half-dead company. Since there is a reverse system in this life, let Chang Ziking do her best in the most important position, and she will not be finished until she confuses the artists under the company. Executives get high salaries, high benefits and no responsibilities. This is Yang Ruoqian's reward for Chang Ziking's 10 years of hard work in her previous life. Chang Ziking stood at attention and saluted solemnly. Boss, do you have any instructions? Your loyal employees are always on standby. High-end office buildings, high privacy, entertainment rooms, tea rooms, high salaries, high benefits. Are you kidding? If you don't make this kind of money, you'll be struck by lightning. It doesn't matter if the boss is unreliable. This female hero is here to save the company. Do you know the responsibilities of the brand promotion department? Yang Ruoqian asked, and took out 2 copies of the labor contract. Fearing that Yang Ruoqian would go back on his word, Chang Ziking quickly signed the contract and then said loudly, I don't know. Boss, it would be best if you don't know. Yang Ruoqian explained, your main responsibility is to be responsible for the company's brand building and marketing. Plan, execute, and monitor various brand promotion activities to enhance the company's visibility and reputation. Chang Ziking was determined to make up for all kinds of professional knowledge. She must not let down the salary and the boss's trust, so she said solemnly, I will work hard to complete the task. Yang Ruoqian nodded with satisfaction. Yes, I hope that with the hard work of you, the sleeping dragon, our company's promotion will never go on, and its popularity will always be at a stage where no one cares. Yang Ruoqian looked at the company with few visitors with satisfaction, and began to plan the next move. The sleeping dragon is there, and now only a phoenix is missing. It is also necessary to find an artist or anchor who is destined to not be popular at first glance, so that the initial construction of such a studio can be completed. The boss who wants to be a failure, the planner who knows nothing, and the artist who dies at first sight. With the 3 phantom gods together, the company will die soon. Having found a high-paying and high-benefits job right after graduation, Chang Ziking was full of energy at this time. Boss, I will go buy relevant information now, and I promise not to hold back, and I promise to make the company flourish. Fermentation. Everything will flourish. Just remember to go to work on time tomorrow. After sending Chang Ziking away, Yang Ruoqian only had one thing to think about next. What kind of artist will never be able to make a comeback? This question seems ridiculous and simple, but if you think about it carefully, you will find that it really has no standard answer. Appearance? There are superstars with low appearance, and there are a lot of high appearance flops. Ability? This is even more impossible. In the era of traffic being king, as long as the ability is up to a certain passing line, there is a chance to use a lot of public opinion to make a person famous. Then, traffic? In this world, that is highly similar to the previous life, the chaos of traffic squeezing is far worse than the previous life. In most cases, no traffic means that you can't get ahead. But there are also many people who can't get up, no matter how much traffic they use. Comprehensive consideration of various factors. What are these factors? How much weight do they have? How to tell whether an artist or anchor is going to be popular is a little too difficult for a layman. Although Yang Ruoqian wants to rely on the system to make money and become one of the Fortune 500, it will not be based on the premise of stifling other people's dreams. Those artists who have the potential to become popular are definitely not within his recruitment considerations. Artists who are destined not to be popular can come to work under the company, earn a salary that is enough to make ends meet, and help the company make a lot of money from the system. Why not? In other words, Yang Ruoqian will not deliberately prevent artists with potential from becoming popular, harming others and benefiting himself. Instead, he wants to find some artists who are destined not to be popular to join the company, so as to achieve mutual benefit and win-win results. I'm a layman, and I can't compare with the expert teams of those large entertainment media companies in terms of professional analysis. Whether an artist will become popular or not, there are too many factors and they are too complicated. I can't judge accurately, but the entertainment bosses can judge accurately. An artist who is rejected by most large entertainment companies definitely meets my recruitment standards. After determining the target group, Yang Ruoqian turned on his mobile phone and prepared to call an online car-hailing car to wait in front of the gates of major entertainment media companies and various auditions. Ding-ling-ling. The phone suddenly rang, and the answering interface forcibly occupied the entire mobile phone screen. The caller was displayed as Tenant Gaonayan. Gaonayan? What's wrong? Yang Ruoqian picked up the phone and asked proactively. Yang Ruoqian had some impression of this tenant who shared a house with Chang Ziking. She was a very introverted and shy girl. In her previous life, she did move out at this time, and there was no other news about this girl after that. Gaonayan's voice was a little embarrassed. Landlord, I may have to give up the lease this month. Are you going back to your hometown? Yang Ruoqian said in a polite tone. No, it's just a work problem. Gaonayan's voice was even more embarrassed, and she hurriedly changed the subject. That is, the rental contract is for 1 year, but I only rented for 10 months. Landlord, can you make some adjustments to the deposit? This girl can't even speak clearly. Yang Ruoqian smiled and said, no problem. Are you at home now? I'll come back to do the formalities for you. At home, thank you. You're welcome. Yang Ruoqian said, hung up the phone, and changed the address entered on the online car hailing software to his own community. After getting in the car, Yang Ruoqian couldn't help thinking about the content of the phone call just now. Gaonayan said that there was a problem at work. I wonder if this problem is serious. If it is serious enough, maybe he can be recruited into the group, and he can mess up together, harm the company, and get rich together. Although Gaonayan is a neighbor of Yang Ruoqian and a roommate of Chang Ziking, she did not tell them what she does specifically. We have arrived at our destination. Please check your belongings before getting off the bus. Thank you for choosing Didi Taxi. Yang Ruoqian put away his phone, walked back to his home with ease, took out his key, and opened the door to the next room. Gaonayan was already packing her things. Just as Yang Ruoqian was about to say something, he suddenly stopped. Above Gaonayan's head, a few big words were written. Recruitment available. Occupation, anchor. Chapter 4. Our group needs talents like you. Gaonayan is almost 1.7 meters tall, and her appearance can be said to be stunning. But such a tall figure and face are completely hidden in that tall dress that doesn't fit her well. This height and appearance are somewhat inconsistent with the level of confidence. Could her so-called work problems be related to live streaming? Yang Ruoqian became interested and clicked on Gaonayan's panel to check her brilliant resume. As long as the anchor or artist is marked as recruitable by the system, Yang Ruoqian can view their resumes. Apply for Huai Sisters. Rejected. First broadcast on the Shark platform. The effective audience is 0. Apply to join the Shark Zuanti Interactive Entertainment Guild. Failed. First broadcast on Bilibili. The effective audience is 0. Apply to join the Yufu Guild. Failed. Looking at a series of zeros and a series of rejections, Yang Ruoqian was immediately ecstatic. Girl, don't leave. Our group is in need of talents like you. This is a walking 100 million. Landlord? Gaonayan noticed that the door was opened and turned around timidly and shouted, I'm so sorry. You must be very busy starting a business recently. I have to trouble you to come here. Gaonayan turned around, and the red headdress on her forehead swayed, caressing her delicate and slightly confused face. The exotic style brought by the grassland dress combined with modern clothing made this ethnic minority girl catch Yang Ruoqian's eye instantly. In his previous life, Yang Ruoqian was overwhelmed by the company on the verge of bankruptcy, but he didn't know that he had such a stunning tenant. Logically speaking, with such a face, the audience should not be 0, right? How boring must her live broadcast be that such a stunning appearance can't save the effect of the live broadcast? Although he was ecstatic, in order not to scare away the 100 million girl, Yang Ruoqian still maintained the most basic composure. While signing the document, she asked casually, what kind of problems have you encountered at work? I recently opened a company, maybe I can help you. Gaonayan's eyes flashed with hope for a moment, but soon dimmed. But, maybe I'm really not suitable to be a host, so I won't bother you, landlord. After talking to this girl for a few words, Yang Ruoqian probably understood why she was not popular anymore. There were only 2 people in the room, and they were so shy in official conversations. I'm afraid she couldn't even say a complete sentence during the live broadcast. Without a high-quality interactive experience, it is natural that the audience cannot be retained. Moreover, Gaonayan probably didn't have much awareness of using equipment to assist in live broadcasts. Even if she had an amazing appearance, she would not be so competitive among a group of hypey female hosts. How could that be? Yang Ruoqian made a strange expression, stopped the pen in his hand, and said, I know a little about this business. Let me see the live broadcast replay. Maybe I can help you. Gaonayan hesitated for a moment, and shyness was ultimately no match for the last bit of struggle in his heart, so he gritted his teeth, opened the small broken station, and stuffed the phone into Yang Ruoqian's hand. It seemed that these few actions had exhausted all his courage. As soon as the phone left his hand, Gaonayan took several steps back and only dared to glance at Yang Ruoqian with his peripheral vision. Yang Ruoqian just glanced at it for a few times, and the corners of his mouth almost couldn't help but rise. It wasn't because Gaonayan's live broadcast was good to watch, but because he saw the 50 million system bonus waving at him. How to describe the effect of Gaonayan's live broadcast? If a child wants to understand the meaning of boring, the best way is not to look up the dictionary, but to watch Gaonayan's live broadcast. Not bad. Yang Ruoqian handed over the phone and said insincerely without changing his expression, I think you are very suitable to be an anchor. Gaonayan's dark eyes suddenly seemed to come alive, as if she had grabbed the last straw before drowning. Really? Really? From the initial uneasiness, to loss, to numbness, and finally despair. This is the mental journey of most people who want to eat this bite of rice. At this time, even a compliment, even if you know that this compliment is mostly polite, it is a great encouragement for the person concerned. Really? Seeing that the girl didn't say a few words clearly, Yang Ruoqian felt more and more that he had found a treasure, but I still have a few doubts. Gaonayan was so nervous that tears were about to fall, and her fingers were clasped together. You tell me, why do you want to be an anchor? Yang Ruoqian was very curious. It stands to reason that this girl with this personality would definitely not want to show up. Gaonayan lowered her eyebrows. My mother is sick and needs some medical expenses. I heard that live streaming makes money quickly. Girl, you are desperate and trying all kinds of methods. Live streaming makes money quickly, just like writing novels to make money. It is just a beautiful fantasy. Yang Ruoqian nodded and asked again, have you applied for other entertainment media companies? If so, can you tell me why you were eliminated? After this, Gaonayan was silent for a long time. Then she said with difficulty, they said that it doesn't matter if you are not good at speaking, as long as you wear something special, casual, and twisting casually, you can also attract a lot of attention. I refused. The last doubt was also answered. It is true that such an anchor will never become popular. 50 million. Here I come. Yang Ruoqian suppressed his ecstasy and said calmly, why refuse? Because I don't want to. This time, Gaonayan answered very quickly and in a very firm tone. After speaking, Gaonayan secretly glanced at Yang Ruoqian again, hoping to see his attitude from his expression. However, she did not capture any useful information on the young and handsome face. There was only calmness. Disappointment quickly filled Gaonayan's heart. Yes, for someone like her who is not good at speaking and unwilling to compromise even a little bit, it would be a joke for her to do live broadcasting. She wants dignity and ideals. She is unwilling to compromise, and she wants to make money while standing. Where in the world is there such a good thing? Even so, many people want to kneel, but there is no way. No one will want her. As the landlord, she is the boss of a company and has extra properties for rent. She is an absolutely successful person at first glance. How could she take in a broadcaster with no commercial value like her? Moreover, Yang Ruoqian is young and handsome, and he is a man of talent. There are definitely many beautiful women around him. I'm afraid that my appearance will not catch his eyes. As expected, he was rejected for the job. Gaonayan held back his tears, held up the last bit of dignity, and planned to say his final goodbye to this city. Landlord, Almost at the same time, Yang Ruoqian stretched out his hand to Gaonayan and said with a smile, congratulations, you meet the recruitment standards of our group. Next, let's discuss the salary issue. Gaonayan's words were stuck, and his black and shining eyes suddenly showed an expression of disbelief. Meet the recruitment standards? Question mark? A person with a shabby live broadcast effect, poor communication skills, and a commercial value close to zero actually meets the recruitment standards? Could it be that his landlord is actually the owner of a charity foundation? Me. Gaonayan didn't react at once, and only subconsciously replied, 2005 is okay. As soon as this number came out, Yang Ruoqian's brows twisted into a ball. Gaonayan's heart clicked. It's going to be too high. Chapter 5 Young people should be ambitious. Seeing that Yang Ruoqian had a gloomy expression, Gaonayan felt nervous. Yes, why would an anchor who doesn't even have half an audience ask for a huge salary of 2,500 a month? Gaonayan lowered her head and clenched her hands, waiting for Yang Ruoqian to lower her salary. She just hoped that it wouldn't be so low that she couldn't even pay the rent, otherwise she would have to do several odd jobs. Seeing that the girl with the billionaire didn't dare to speak, Yang Ruoqian sighed and took the initiative to speak. You rent my house. The monthly rent will be 1,500, right? Yeah. You eat for a month. I'll calculate the minimum, at least 2,000, right? Gaonayan was stunned for a moment and said, no. But Yang Ruoqian didn't give her a chance to speak and started to calculate the accounts by himself. You are a girl. You have to buy cosmetics, right? You have to change clothes, right? 500 expenses are reasonable, right? This. You have a holiday on the weekends. You want to go out to play, right? You play games for leisure and entertainment on weekdays. You have to spend money, right? In order to deal with emergencies, you have to have savings, right? Going to and from get off work, there are transportation costs, right? Add these together, 2,000 a month is not too much, right? Your mother needs medical treatment, and the monthly expenses are definitely not small. I calculated 1,500, it's reasonable, right? If it wasn't too outrageous, Yang Ruoqian would have wanted to include the mental damage compensation. After a long and eloquent speech, Yang Ruoqian finally concluded, not enough, 2,500 is not enough. So, the basic salary is 8,000, 5 insurances and 1 housing fund. The company will take 10% of the live broadcast floor's operating expenses. Food and accommodation are provided, and I will waive the rent for you. Do you think it is reasonable? The higher the no liability guarantee, the more employees will have a slacking mentality. Therefore, the higher the salary, the more you will earn in the future. Compared with the upcoming 50 million, these are small money. Don't care at all. Gaonayan was stunned by what he said, and his eyes, which were naturally confused, were full of confusion. This Mr. Yang just included the rent when calculating the salary, and then waived the rent without reducing the salary. What kind of operation is this? How can a girl eat 2,000 yuan a month? Generally speaking, a broadcaster can get reward income, which is 45% of the total flow. But Yang Ruoqian said that the company only took 10% of it. In other words, Gaonayan must receive 80,000 in rewards a month, so that the company can barely afford a basic salary of 8,000, not counting other operating costs. How financially strong must a large company be to be able to do such a thing? Seeing that the girl didn't speak, Yang Ruoqian asked thoughtfully, too little? Or do you think the commission is too much? No, too much, Mr. Yang, it's too much. How can young people think that their salary is too high? Yang Ruoqian reprimanded with great dissatisfaction. Young people should always feel that their salary is too little, and always keep striving for progress. A basic salary of 8,000 per month is still too little? Still striving for progress? Gaonayan felt that he suddenly couldn't understand Chinese. So this is what striving for progress means? The salary is set. I'll give you the company address. Go report tomorrow and sign the labor contract. Yang Ruoqian crumpled up the rental documents in his hand and threw them into the trash can. When can you start working? What time do you plan to live broadcast? Gaonayan came back to her senses and said softly, is next week okay? I'm going back to my hometown this week to see my mother. Next week? Next week is next month, but the system settles accounts for artists and anchors at the end of the month. If Gaonayan doesn't start broadcasting, the system won't start calculating fans, and a month's settlement cycle will be wasted. Rounding it off means 100 million less. It's okay. You can broadcast casually when you go back to your hometown. You have to learn to be flexible and don't stick to the venue. Yang Ruoqian immediately made up a story with a serious tone. You can only succeed if you know how to broaden your thinking, open up your mind, and jump out of the established thinking. No wonder. Without a professional team to follow up, the effect of outdoor live broadcasts can be as bad as it can be. The picture quality is blurry, the lens is shaking, and the noise is complicated. If you can gain even one fan, you're considered blind. The 100 million reward is a sure thing. Gaonayan blinked and asked weakly, but, boss, there is a big grassland in my hometown. What should I broadcast? Grassland? The grassland is good. Yang Ruoqian lied with his eyes open. Just broadcast the sheep. Point the camera at the sheep and cattle and the blue sky and white clouds. Let the audience see how the cattle and sheep show their teeth. But I don't have any cattle at home. It doesn't matter, then just point it at the sheep. Anyway, just show this kind of picture to the audience. Gaonayan was confused and felt that something was wrong, but she didn't know what was wrong, so she could only ask, but will anyone watch it like this? Yang Ruoqian said seriously, in this era, differentiated competition is emphasized. Others are all beautiful women dancing, all the same, but we are different. Our main focus is to purify the soul and let the audience feel the charm of the grassland. Don't worry, it will be popular. The girl who had never seen the world was stunned by what Yang Ruoqian, the black-hearted boss, said, and suddenly she felt that what he said made sense. Okay, I'll try it. Adhering to the advanced idea that, if it's too late, it's time to go, Yang Ruoqian continued to make up nonsense. Open a new account to broadcast, don't use the old one. The old one won't go, the new one won't come. We must completely cut off the traffic of your previous account. There is no creation without destruction, and we must survive in the face of death. The little girl was also ignited by what he said, and she nodded vigorously. Okay. There is no creation without destruction. Okay, then I'll go back first. After saying that, Yang Ruoqian got up and left, closing the door. It's not that there is something urgent, but he is afraid that he will not be able to continue talking for a while. As for whether Gaonayan's live broadcast is watched by anyone, and whether it makes money or not, it is not within Yang Ruoqian's consideration at all. But he didn't see that Gaonayan behind him suddenly flashed with high morale. The boss is so optimistic about me, I must not disappoint his expectations. I must become popular. A few days later, at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking were handling company business in the bank. After careful consideration, Yang Ruoqian finalized the name of the company, which was called Kuiguang Entertainment Media Co. Limited. On the surface, it looked like the light on the top of the mountain, with profound meaning. But in fact, it was a homonym of losing all. This name embodies Yang Ruoqian's lofty ideal of not letting his artists gain any fans, and letting the company lose all its money. Chang Ziking handed in the completed form, turned around and sat back next to Yang Ruoqian, shaking her sore arms. There are many things to do when registering a new subsidiary. Official seals, financial seals, tax registration, opening a bank account, etc. are all troublesome. Who made the company have so few people that the boss has to do all the trivial things himself? As for the recruitment of new employees, Yang Ruoqian felt that it would be difficult for his entertainment company, which only wanted to flop and not big names, to recruit ideal employees. Because normal employees would try their best to make the company develop in a good direction, but Yang Ruoqian's needs were exactly the opposite. You can't just tell the truth to your employees and let them ruin the company, right? Just when Yang Ruoqian was thinking hard about how to recruit employees, Chang Ziking suddenly poked his arm. Yang Ruoqian is Gaonayan's first broadcast today. The two are very familiar with each other and call each other by their names in private. When Yang Ruoqian recruited Gaonayan, Chang Ziking actually disagreed in her heart. She knew this rumor too well. She was soft-tempered and introverted, and had a little inferiority complex. She was indeed not so suitable to be a broadcaster. But since it was the boss's decision, it might have a deep meaning. Yang Ruoqian still went against the crowd in such a difficult situation of the company. If he wanted to enter the live broadcast and entertainment circles, he must have made full preparations and homework. It was definitely not a decision made on a whim. If a layman like me could think of it, couldn't Yang Ruoqian think of it? Yang Ruoqian could think of it, but he still wanted to recruit a broadcaster like Gao Nayan who was so attractive at first sight, which meant that he must have a long-term plan. As an employee, Chang Ziking just had to execute it. Yes, today is the first broadcast, and it should have been broadcast for a while. Yang Ruoqian smiled. Do you care about your UMAT? Chang Ziking sighed. Brother, we haven't joined the live broadcast platform, and we haven't established a guild, so we don't have traffic. If we don't spend money to give gifts, where will the traffic come from? There are two basic ways for anchors without special contracts to get traffic. The first is that the guild that the anchor joins generally has props similar to recommendation cards, which can make the anchor's position occupy a prominent position in its own live broadcast area. The number of such props depends on the overall turnover of the guild. Generally speaking, there are more monks than porridge. This is also the reason why the guild recruits some anchors with lower turnover. As long as the amount is piled up, a little accumulates into a lot, and the overall turnover meets the standard, you can get various powerful traffic props, such as homepage recommendations. Then, use the traffic props on your own top anchors to maximize your profits. To put it bluntly, the bottom anchors of a guild are just consumables for the top anchors. Dozens of them worked hard to live broadcast, and finally saved up a powerful prop for pushing traffic, but they would never be able to enjoy it. The second method is more direct. That is to give rewards. As long as the anchor can receive real money rewards, while gaining real-time popularity, complete some permanent live broadcast tasks, and obtain props for pushing traffic that the anchor can use. However, the effect of the second way of pushing traffic is much worse than the first way. Since Gao Nayan does not have a guild, the second method can only be used to obtain traffic. The empty live broadcast room is a big blow to the anchor's confidence, especially for a girl like Gao Nayan who already has some inferiority complex. Yang Ruoqian also understood the connection, so he nodded and said, that makes sense. Why don't we send 2 planes? Anyway, this money can be regarded as the company's operating costs, and can be used in public accounts. Okay. So, the two took out their mobile phones, and searched the ID Yunne on Shark Live with 2 newly registered accounts. Chapter 6, Sudden Change of Style. Yunne, 11 fans, 2 followers. Not bad, very good, keep it up. Yang Ruoqian was delighted and clicked into the live broadcast room. He found that Gao Nayan was indeed pointing the camera at the blue sky, white clouds, grassland, and goats. In order to block the wind and sand, she also wore a face towel, which covered most of her pure and beautiful appearance. There were only 2 or 3 scattered comments in the entire dialogue box. Where is the anchor from? Is this a recorded broadcast or a live broadcast? Check in. Looking at this deserted scene, Yang Ruoqian was completely relieved. Yes, that's right. If you don't show up like this, who will? In order to stabilize Gao Nayan's mentality and prevent her from changing her live streaming style, Yang Ruoqian immediately recharged hundreds of dollars into the account and sent a lot of VIP fan club members. At the end, he posted a barrage. In this impetuous era, there are not many anchors who broadcast such high quality content. Give them your support. Chang Ziking looked at the barrage and complained, boss, aren't you too blunt? You can tell at a glance that they are water army. It's okay, this kid is naturally smart. You can't tell. Can this kind of content really become popular? Chang Ziking followed Yang Ruoqian's example, and after sending a wave of gifts, she still couldn't help but worry. I don't think there is anything attractive about it. How can this make money? Yang Ruoqian, who had completely run out of tricks, immediately acted like a boss. Trust my judgment, you will become famous one day. Young people should not be too impetuous. However, Chang Ziking, who was very familiar with Yang Ruoqian, didn't buy it at all. She pouted and asked, are you here to do charity? It's our turn in the queue. Let's do business. Boss, don't change the subject. At the same time, Shark Live, Game Live broadcast section, a big anchor of MOBA game. Thanks to Lily for the rocket. Thanks to the boss. Thanks to the anchor for the 213 cards sent by the silver purchase. Thanks to the boss. Just after finishing an exciting MOBA battle game, Zixon stretched and said to the audience, "I'm tired of playing games. Let me take you to find some pretty girls." In the live broadcast room, large pieces of barrages floated by. Keep the link. Looking forward to today's death question and answer. Does anyone remember the room number of the girl yesterday? That room is boring. Change it. The upstairs. You just finished talking, and you're so tough. The main film starts. The main film starts. Looking at the barrages on the screen, Zixon took a few barrages to reply, and clicked on the live broadcast rooms of some female anchors. But most of the time, they just took a look, and closed the live broadcast room, without staying for a second longer. Hey, these photos are more beautiful than each other. Why do they look different from the photos after entering? These days, why are all high Photoshop fake photos? While complaining casually, Zixon suddenly found a pure and sweet looking girl from the border area very far below. The only drawback was that she was wearing a veil on her face, so her entire face could not be seen. Hey, this anchor looks pretty good. Brothers, let's go. As soon as he entered the live broadcast room, Zixon's eyes lit up immediately. He set the live broadcast room to high definition full screen, and said excitedly, "This girl is good. She is good." The audience immediately asked a soul-searching question on the barrage. Most of her face is covered. How do you know she can do it? That's right. Maybe once the veil is taken off, the beautiful woman will turn into a dinosaur on the spot. Zixon snorted coldly, looked at Gaonayan's face carefully, and said very confidently, "Based on my more than 10 years of experience in looking at beauties, the face under this veil will definitely not be bad." The look of tears on the spot when she was about to cry made people feel pity for her and aroused the desire to protect her in many people. At this time, the bullet comments in the live broadcast room also quickly passed by, overwhelming. "Come on, haven't you failed enough times? No, I believe in the host's vision. Mountains and rivers will meet again. Goodbye host. I'm going to see the young lady. I want this girl's contact information." The smart people have already gone to the girl's live broadcast room to ask for it, and Irby is still asking in the leader's live broadcast room. "Host, we will meet again in the rivers and lakes. I'm going to see the young lady." At this time, in the Yunnae live broadcast room, Gaonayan, who was driving a few goats on the prairie, was also shocked by the sudden influx of a large number of viewers. Small gifts, various VIP high-level bullet comments and white bullet comments came in pieces. When did Gaonayan, who usually didn't even see half of the living people, see such a scene? "Sister, don't cry. If you cry, the whole world is wrong." Added to the watch list. "I suddenly understand King Zhao's happiness. Show me a talent, sister." Although he didn't know what happened to make so many people rush into the live broadcast room at once, Gaonayan knew that this kind of traffic came quickly and went even faster. Don't look at these viewers who are happy to call you sister. Most of them are only enthusiastic for 3 minutes. If there is no shining point to retain the audience, the person will be completely gone in 3 days at most. Don't miss this opportunity. Absolutely not. Gaonayan looked left and right anxiously. Show talent. What talent can I show? Suddenly, Gaonayan saw a goat walking leisurely in front of him. Got it. Snap. It was very fast. No one could see the action clearly. Gaonayan had already grabbed the goat's neck with one hand, and with a force, he carried it on his shoulder. Swish. A sheep killing knife with a cold glow was pulled out, and shook in front of all the audience. After a moment of silence, the barrage of questions floated across the screen. Wait, did I see something wrong? Did she just pick up a sheep with one hand, and put it on her shoulder? Girl, let's talk it over. Put down what you have in your hand first. Gaonayan blushed, and said in a mosquito-like voice, I don't have any talent. I'll just show you how to slaughter a sheep in 8 minutes. These sheep actually belong to her family, not Gaonayan, but in order to seize this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Gaonayan didn't care so much. Anyway, the salary is high now, and there will not be too much financial pressure to buy a new one, or pay directly after slaughtering the sheep. After fixing the mobile phone camera, Gaonayan found a stone at random and pressed the sheep belly on her shoulder, face up on the stone slab. The soft and boneless hand tightly clamped the struggling front hoof of the goat, and the other hand used a knife to cut a small slit in the spine, inserted a finger, and gently hooked it. The goat's struggle suddenly became weak. Gaonayan then let go and skillfully used a knife to pick apart the goat's limbs. At this time, many people have flocked to the live broadcast room. Watching this scene, some viewers expressed doubts. Does the anchor not bleed the sheep when slaughtering it? Yes, just kill it directly. You don't understand what the above person said. The anchor uses the method of cutting open the sheep to slaughter it, and there is no blood. This girl inspires the desire to protect at first sight. Wake up. She doesn't take 8 minutes to slaughter a sheep, and it probably won't take much longer to slaughter you. Why do I feel a little cold on my back? The audience chatted eagerly. In just a few minutes, the number of followers of Gaonayan's live broadcast room increased from 1 to more than 3,000, and this number is still rising at a terrifying rate. Even more expensive gifts such as airplanes have begun to appear in the live broadcast room. Time passed by, and under Gaonayan's skilled knife skills, a complete sheepskin was stripped off. The sheep's offal was taken out one by the beautiful jade hand and placed on the ground. When the 2 sheep kidneys were taken out, for some reason, the audience in the live broadcast room suddenly felt a dull pain in a certain part of their body. The news that a girl from the border area was slaughtering sheep at the speed of light on the live broadcast spread quickly on the Shark platform. Not only the audience, but even many anchors clicked on Gaonayan's live broadcast room and watched strongly. The popularity of the entire Shark platform has ranked in the top 3. This young lady is interesting. Zixon touched his nose and watched with relish. She tried to broadcast something very new on the Shark platform. As soon as he finished speaking, when the time was frozen at 7 minutes and 33 seconds, Gaonayan completed the entire slaughtering process. More than 20 seconds faster than the original 8 minutes. Gaonayan, who successfully completed the challenge, raised his head, took a long breath, grabbed the sheep's head with his left hand, held the knife in his right hand, and walked towards the camera. The misty eyes, the uneasy innocent expression in the things in his left and right hands blended together, giving all the audience a real visual impact. Watching Gaonayan walk step by step, Zixon actually shrank back unconsciously. The audience caught his action and the barrage instantly swiped. No, is the anchor serious? When he took a step back. Ha 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 ha. When the anchor goes to bed at night, he opens the quilt and sees all the girls who want to choke him. With a snap, Zixon closed Gaonayan's live broadcast room and calmly covered up. Ah, the game is on, and I'm playing ranked games. It was such a show effect. The big anchors left the live broadcast room one after another, but the huge number of viewers did not leave with them. The barrage of comments was refreshed one by one, so fast that people could not see clearly. Miss, I just gave you 3 planes. Thank you for the gift quickly. Is this trick of the anchor a side story? I want to learn it to deal with my boyfriend. Are you selling the sheep that the anchor killed? I'll give you 10 superfires to buy it. If it's not enough, I'll add some more. If you sell it, just ignore what I said. I declare that the anchor will be the #1 desert butcher in the national server from now on. When Gaonayan squatted down and wanted to see how many people were still in her live broadcast room, she faced such a scene. It was a lively scene that she, who was inferior, would never dare to imagine in her life. Once upon a time, Gaonayan was ridiculed by major guilds, saying that people like her would never be able to make money in this life. The rejections from countless companies and guilds, and the terrible live broadcast data, all seemed to confirm this fact. After being suppressed for so long, she finally proved herself. Gaonayan's eyes flashed with tears in excitement, and her admiration for Yang Ruoqian in her heart had reached an unprecedented level. The boss is worthy of being the boss, and his vision is sharp enough. If you live broadcast according to his method, you will become popular. Chapter 7. It was my problem. At this time, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking were busy in the bank, queuing up in one line and then another, exhausted. Finally, they had some free time, so they sat on the chairs together and looked at each other. Let's go to Nayan's live broadcast room to chat. Chang Ziking was worried that a silly rumor would be hit by the deserted live broadcast room and her mentality would collapse, so she whispered, "Just swiping gifs feels too fake. I'm afraid of being found out." Anyway, Yang Ruoqian, who had nothing to do in the queue, agreed. Okay. So, the two took out their mobile phones, opened the Shark platform again, and found the account Yunne in the follow list. After so much time, how many fans can this silly boy Gaonayan gain? I feel that the number of fans will not exceed 10 people. What the hell? What the hell? The two what the hell came from Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking respectively. The difference was that Yang Ruoqian's fourth wrong was painful, and Chang Ziking's second wrong was pleasantly surprised. Yang Ruoqian looked at the search results that popped up and almost threw the whole phone away. Yunne, number of fans, 56,459. An ominous premonition instantly surged into Yang Ruoqian's heart. Yang Ruoqian clicked into the live broadcast room. As soon as he entered the live broadcast room, he saw that Gaonayan's innocent face was still flashing with tears. Above the screen, there were big words top 3. In the middle of the screen, rockets with full special effects were taking off into the sky one after another. Yang Ruoqian was stunned. What the hell is going on? Yang Ruoqian, did you see that? Nayan took off. Chang Ziking, who was standing aside, grabbed Yang Ruoqian's sleeve and shouted excitedly, "This is the first time to broadcast, and there are more than 50,000 fans. As long as it is well managed, it will be a big anchor with at least 500,000 fans in the future." So far, Gaonayan has received nearly 10,000 gifts and rewards. Chang Ziking was more excited than ever before, and felt more and more that she had followed the right person. Her boss was not only handsome and generous, but also had outstanding abilities. No wonder he was so determined to enter the live broadcast and entertainment circles. He really had a keen eye. In a pile of shit, he could accurately find gold with just one glance. What a terrible acumen and insight. Chang Ziking looked at her college classmate and felt a little ashamed in her heart. People like her would probably find their hands full of shit even in a pile of gold. But it doesn't matter. Since she is working under the boss, she should learn more and watch more, and she must not let down her salary. Seeing Yang Ruoqian's calm and indifferent expression, Chang Ziking became more certain of her guess. However, she didn't know that Yang Ruoqian was trying his best to prevent his whole body from going limp. It's over. It's all over. Fans between 0 and 10,000 are passers-by, those above 10,000, and below 50,000 are big losers, those above 50,000, and below 100,000 are small losers. The bonuses are 50 million, 5 million and 500,000 respectively. Gaonayan now has nearly 60,000 fans. Excluding robots, the number of real fans is about 50,000. In other words, only 500,000 bonuses will be issued by the system in 2 days. 500,000. It was 100 times smaller than the expected 50 million. A loss of 99%. Anyone who saw this number would cry. Forget it, it's not a big problem. Yang Ruoqian breathed a sigh of relief and forced himself to comfort himself in his heart. Look, there is at least 500,000. Both the company account and the personal account can get this bonus, and the total income is a full 1 million. Enough. It is impossible that Gaonayan's fans can break through the 100,000 mark in the next 2 days. Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Yang Ruoqian, who had calmed down, took a deep breath and tried to control the muscles on his face. Chang Ziking, you take care of the rest of the procedures. I have something else to do and have to go back to the company first. He must find a quiet place immediately to analyze and summarize the lessons of success and strive not to succeed in the same place again next time. Letting the anchor develop can indeed bring some profits, but compared with the bonus of the system, the gap is a bit huge. Casting a wide net to recruit people will definitely be able to catch some anchors who are completely unpopular, but first, the system may not allow this loophole to be exploited, and second, Yang Ruoqian himself does not want to do this. The real situation of their own company is known to them. Kuiguang Group can't provide artists and anchors with good resources. If they cast a wide net to recruit people and bury those artists who originally had the potential to become popular, wouldn't it be harmful to others? Therefore, it is necessary to make precise analysis and take the elite route. Looking at Yang Ruoqian's hurried departure, Chang Ziking's heart clicked. Judging from the boss's expression and tone, it seems that he is not very satisfied with Gao Naian's performance. The first broadcast had nearly 60,000 fans and nearly 10,000 yuan in turnover, but it still did not meet Yang Ruoqian's minimum expectations. The requirements are so high. No, this is the attitude that a company should have. Chang Ziking's eyes were full of stars, and she clenched her fists. Next, I will personally operate Gao Naian's account and strive to break through to 100,000 fans as quickly as possible and give the boss a big surprise. Back to the company, Yang Ruoqian didn't even have time to turn on the air conditioner and hurriedly turned on the computer and clicked into Gao Naian's live broadcast room. What did Gao Naian broadcast? Why did it suddenly attract so much attention? At this time, the screen of the live broadcast room has gone black, and a few big words appear above a small playback box. Yunne has not started broadcasting yet. The live broadcast replay is just as exciting. A small mobile phone has to shoot and open the live broadcast software, which consumes a lot of power. Gao Naian only broadcasted for less than half an hour this time, because the battery ran out and had to stop broadcasting. But even so, there are still a large number of viewers in the live broadcast room who are still not satisfied and send barrages one after another. I came here because of your reputation. Daoyin Tour Group +1 is the anchor going off the air now. Tang Seng does not eat Tang Seng meat, so I will give Yunne an airplane X1. What did these viewers see? How can a new anchor who has just started broadcasting get so much traffic? Why is he still so unsatisfied even after the broadcast? Yang Ruoqian, who has lost tens of millions, clicked on the live broadcast replay suspiciously. At the beginning, the live broadcast was normal. Gao Naian sat stupidly in front of the camera. There were no audiences and no interaction. It was completely cold. If it weren't for a goat gently nudging Gao Naian's lower back, causing her to utter an ouch, Yang Ruoqian would have almost thought that he had muted the room. But a few minutes later, for some reason, the flow of people in the live broadcast room suddenly exploded, and the originally empty screen was instantly filled with barrages. This group of viewers who called themselves the Zix and Sightseeing Group marveled at Gao Naian's pure and sweet appearance, while frantically giving out small gifts. The live broadcast room, which had originally sunk into the sea, immediately became popular. Yang Ruoqian, who was relatively familiar with the live broadcast industry, was almost dumbfounded. No wonder there were so many people suddenly. It turned out that other big anchors had turned over their cards to check the room. Who can I complain to? Gao Naian had been on so many live broadcast platforms before and had never been discovered. How come she just signed a contract with the company and happened to encounter a big anchor checking the room? It would be better if you were a few days late and waited for the system to pay the bonus. But thinking about it, Yang Ruoqian felt that something was wrong. Even if the big anchors helped the poor and brought in traffic, this kind of traffic was difficult to retain. There were so many big anchors, and they had checked countless live broadcast rooms, but how many of them could become popular in the end? Gao Naian must have done something big to keep these viewers. Yang Ruoqian gritted his teeth and continued to look down. The barrage of comments was getting faster and faster. The little girl who was still watching the goat baring its teeth had never seen such a scene. She was suddenly rushed by the influx of the audience and was panicked and anxious. She stomped her feet and picked up the goat that accidentally hit her with one hand. I don't have any talent. I'll show you how to slaughter a sheep in 8 minutes. Looking at the girl from Jiangsu holding a sheep in one hand and a knife in the other, Yang Ruoqian's inner thoughts were exactly the same as the question marks on the screen. After figuring out the whole story, Yang Ruoqian was stunned. This matter really can't be blamed on others, because the person who instigated Gao Naian to broadcast casually when he returned to his hometown was Yang Ruoqian himself. He originally thought that the culprits were those big anchors who didn't broadcast properly and went to other people's live broadcast rooms to check. Now it seems that the culprit is himself. Yang Ruoqian looked at the gift special effects on the screen with no hope in life, refreshing the number of attention, and wanted to give a big comparison to himself a few days ago. Why did I have to be so mean at that time? And why did I have to let Gaonayan broadcast casually when he returned to his hometown? If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 8 Sichuan Opera Face Changing. After a long time of annoyance, Yang Ruoqian suddenly smiled. Forget it, it's not easy for a girl to come to a big city to work hard alone. Let her be famous. No matter how much he loses, the system will cover him. Even if he can't make tens of millions, he can still make hundreds of thousands. Moreover, the unique skill of slaughtering sheep in public may be fresh to the audience at first, but it is very easy to get aesthetic fatigue after a long time. If there is no more interesting, live broadcast content to follow up, once the limelight is over, it will be as hot as it is cold. The same thing is interesting to watch once, boring twice, and even disgusting after watching it 3 times. This is why Yang Ruoqian believes that Gaonayan's fans will not exceed 100,000. Gaonayan, this girl, doesn't look like the kind of person who is particularly good at making things happen. Yang Ruoqian was still seriously reviewing the reasons for his success and trying not to make the same mistake next time when his cell phone suddenly rang and the caller ID showed Gaonayan. Oh, just thinking about it, someone came to announce the good news. Yang Ruoqian pressed the answer button and heard the girl on the other end gasping for breath and speaking incoherently. Boss, Fang, did you watch my live broadcast? Gaonayan trotted home to charge the phone that had been forced to shut down just to call Yang Ruoqian as soon as possible. Thanks to your live broadcast, my years of low blood pressure have been cured. Yang Ruoqian endured the heartache of losing money and said in a calm tone, I have seen it, you can summarize it yourself first. The girl who originally came to report the good news excitedly was frightened by Yang Ruoqian's tone and suddenly panicked. Boss, I think it's okay. 50 million and 5 million have completely gone down the drain, and the 500,000 must be kept. Yang Ruoqian took a deep breath and started talking nonsense again. It's okay. But don't be dazzled by the temporary traffic. We must not forget our original intentions and return to the theme of seeing cattle and sheep when the wind blows the grass low. Stick to it to the end. This is the path to sustainable development. I know. Seeing that the boss was not criticizing himself but reminding himself, Gaonayan was relieved and snickered. That's good to know. Yang Ruoqian tightened his tone. Landlord, thank you. Gaonayan's soft and weak voice came through the receiver, and the panting sound was much quieter. If it weren't for you, I might never get involved in live streaming again, and I wouldn't be able to make so much money. Well, thank you, boss. You are generous. Gaonayan's voice was restrained, but the gratitude and happiness in his words could not be hidden. There is progress, and he has learned to make jokes. Infected by Gaonayan's grateful attitude, Yang Ruoqian's regret of losing tens of millions of dollars was also diluted a lot, so he laughed and said, thanks can't be verbal thanks, but some practical actions. He deliberately emphasized the word practical. On the other end of the phone, Gaonayan's face flushed, his heart couldn't stop beating, and he stammered, yes, how should I thank you? Yang Ruoqian thought for a while, invite the whole company to dinner? Anyway, there are only 3 people in the whole company now. Even if they eat too much, it won't cost much money. It won't cost money, and it can also bring people closer. Gaonayan was slightly stunned. Is it enough to treat the boss and Sister Chang to a meal? What kind of question is this? Yang Ruoqian frowned slightly, and his tone became more serious. You just made some money. How much more do you want to spend? A meal is enough. Your first task now is to find a way to maintain your popularity in this once-in-a-lifetime window period, rather than holding a celebration banquet. Seeing that Gaonayan didn't speak, Yang Ruoqian asked again, you attracted so many viewers today, what are you going to do next? Gaonayan's brain crashed, and he didn't come back to his senses for a long time. He mechanically responded, boss, I just got off the air, and Sister Chan called me, and talked about this. She said she would help me operate the account. Oh. Chang Ziking, a Wulang who knows nothing, is going to come out to operate the Anchor account herself. Then there is nothing to be afraid of. With her half bucket of water ability, what can she operate? In other words, the bonus for the ZIOPG program can at least be kept. That's fine. When do you plan to go back to the company? Or will you work in your hometown in the future? Yang Ruoqian asked again. The profession of anchor is quite special. As long as the live broadcast time can be guaranteed, many people work online. It is not necessary to live broadcast in the company's offline live broadcast room. Gaonayan said in a soft voice. Or, let's go back to the company? Boss, you are right. I can't keep slaughtering sheep. The audience will get tired of it. Yes, you must not slaughter sheep again. Otherwise I will lose everything I have, not even my underwear. Reassured, Yang Ruoqian nodded slightly. The company has a dedicated live broadcast room and equipment. You can use it anytime you want to broadcast. Remember, keep your original intention. Is there anything else? Gaonayan said quickly. Boss, don't hang up yet. That is, many guilds have sent me invitation messages now. What should I do? Don't worry about them. Our company has already applied to join the Shark platform. After the approval, we can directly join our own guild. Yang Ruoqian said indifferently. Didn't they reject your application to join before? Why are they actively looking for you now? Hearing this question, Gaonayan's eyebrows curved, and he smiled teasingly. They said it's not the same person. The previous temporary worker has been fired. Temporary workers are really a universal excuse. In the final analysis, they saw that there was commercial value and immediately performed a wave of Sichuan opera face changing. In this world, who else can't get along with money except Yang Ruoqian? You can handle these things yourself. I'll hang up first. Well, landlord, please be careful when you go home. After hanging up the phone, Yang Ruoqian locked the company's door and called an online car hailing service on his mobile phone. While waiting for the car, he laughed at himself. As the boss of a company, he doesn't even have his own car. Yang Ruoqian has invested all his wealth in the company to maintain cash flow. He has no more than 3,000 yuan on him, so how can he buy a car? Wait, isn't he worried about how to use the quota issued by the system every month? The company funds on the system cannot be used privately, but they can be used for public purposes. If the company car is bought, then he, the chairman and CEO, can drive it whenever he wants, and it is not much different from a private car. Moreover, the group will eventually expand and meet customers or party A. If there is not even a decent official car, how can others feel at ease to cooperate? The basic quota of 200,000, plus the 500,000 yuan bonus of the small plot level, is a full 700,000, which can buy a very good car. Yang Ruoqian looked at the date. 2 days later, the system would settle the account for the first time. Thinking about it, 2 days later, he would go to the Four Sons store with a huge sum of money and pick up a high-end commercial vehicle with the flattery of the salesperson. Yang Ruoqian was so happy. Beep. Beep. The online car hailing vehicle that had already arrived at the roadside honked twice, pulling Yang Ruoqian out of his dream. When he got home, Yang Ruoqian happened to see Chang Ziking changing shoes at the door next door. There were 2 houses on the same floor. Yang Ruoqian lived in one house, and Chang Ziking and Gaonayan shared the next house. Yang Ruoqian casually greeted, "You just came back?" It didn't take that long for the bank to handle business. Seeing that Chang Ziking didn't return to the company all afternoon, Yang Ruoqian thought she had gone home a long time ago. Chang Ziking also smiled and said, "I can't let you down for the salary you gave me. In 2015, 20,000 yuan after tax without liability, 5 insurances and 1 housing fund, 955 working hours. Where can I find such a good treatment?" Yang Ruoqian asked curiously. "You didn't go back to the company this afternoon. What are you busy with?" Chang Ziking took off her socks, stepped her white feet into slippers, hid in the house, only showing her little head, and smiled slyly. "You will know tomorrow. Good night." With a bang, the door was closed. Yang Ruoqian shook his head with some amusement. It's quite mysterious. After eating and drinking, and washing up, Yang Ruoqian lay down on the bed, closed his eyes and fell asleep quickly. The next morning, Yang Ruoqian, who woke up naturally, stretched his body, habitually picked up his mobile phone, opened the pink broken station Bilibili, and planned to watch some videos to clear his mind. At just one glance, Yang Ruoqian seemed to have discovered something terrible, and he was stunned on the bed. Chapter 9. Please explain what a surprise is. The first video on the homepage of the website has a pretty girl on the cover and the title reads the #1 desert butcher in China. It's obvious that this is a clip of Gaonayan's live broadcast yesterday. The video was only released for a few hours, but the number of views has reached a terrifying 700,000. The number of comments has exceeded 1,000, and the number of favorites has reached 20,000. Brothers, take out the goat's kidney at 2:49. Go and watch. It is said that the goat died because it accidentally touched the anchor and then died. The girl next door has grown up. She is strong enough to pull up mountains and has the courage to conquer the world. Other girls have lipstick, foundation, eyeliner in their bags, but the desert butcher has only a knife for killing goats for 8 minutes in his bag. Does anyone know where this young lady is live streaming? Didn't the signature say it was on the Shark platform? Yang Ruoqian looked at the heated discussion in the comment area and almost couldn't catch his breath. I actually forgot about this. Someone will repost the video. The income from reposting is not as good as the original, but as long as it is popular content, it can bring a lot of traffic. How could those sharp-eyed creators miss this opportunity? Careless. The show started yesterday afternoon, and someone came out this morning to take advantage of the popularity. Damn it. These people who take advantage of the popularity really deserve to die. As long as the popularity comes up, even if the person involved does nothing, there will be a bunch of people rushing to hype it up. A day passed, and the popularity of Gaonayan slaughtering sheep not only did not decrease, but also showed an upward trend. Who is the reposter of this? Yang Ruoqian was furious. He clicked on the video and entered the publisher's homepage. Let me see which one is idle every day and just stares at various hotspots and messes around. Then, Yang Ruoqian saw that the publisher's ID was Yun Nelang, and the signature was only one line of words. The only official account of Shark platform anchor Yun Ne. Only official account? Question mark? Wait, what's going on? Who allowed you to say that you are an official account? Exclamation mark. Bang bang bang, bang bang bang. Just when Yang Ruoqian was furious, the door was suddenly knocked, and Chang Ziking's excited voice penetrated the thick security door and wooden door. Yang Ruoqian, get up quickly, open the door quickly. Good news, great news, good news, good news that can make Chang Ziking so excited. Yang Ruoqian knew that this girl was reliable and would not talk nonsense. If she said it was good news, it must be good news. So he put on his nightgown, got out of bed, walked towards the door, and opened the door for the girl. What good news? Chang Ziking walked into the room skillfully, looked up and down at the sleepy Yang Ruoqian, and said TSK. Boss, you don't exercise all day, but you're in good shape? Yang Ruoqian was too lazy to talk nonsense, and asked directly, tell me the good news quickly. After that we have to deal with a user pretending to be Gaonayan. Chang Ziking, who had just sat down on the sofa, jumped up suddenly, shocked and angry. Which shameless person dares to pretend? I registered the account last night, posted the video as soon as possible, and even wrote the only official account in the signature. That's right, too shameless. Wait, what did you say? Yang Ruoqian subconsciously agreed, and a few seconds later, he suddenly realized that something was wrong, and his eyes widened suddenly. Chang Ziking clenched her fists and snorted arrogantly. I had predicted that someone would come to take advantage of this popularity, so I registered accounts on various social platforms and posted videos first. I took advantage of my own popularity and left others with no popularity to take advantage of. How about it, boss? Am I awesome? This is the result of her hard work and study these days. This is the surprise she said she would give Yang Ruoqian yesterday. Regardless of how to maintain the popularity in the future, at least during this period of time, when the limelight is at its peak, we must not let others take away the traffic. How many original works are created on a single platform and are taken advantage of by reprinters on other platforms, resulting in the spectacle of the original author not being as popular as the reprinter. Yang Ruoqian struggled to digest Chang Ziking's words and asked word by word on the broken site, the one called Yun Nelang, "Did you help Gao Neian register?" Chang Ziking's big eyes flashed with doubt. "How did you know?" Yang Ruoqian lowered his head and looked at the ID in his hand with nearly 60,000 fans. He suddenly felt like crying, but had no tears. Is there something wrong with this world? In his previous life, he wanted to make a lot of money, and his subordinates were all talented people, but he almost lost everything. In this life, he wanted to find a group of like-minded people to fleece the system together, but his subordinates all had special skills, and in just a few days, they became a well-known internet celebrity. Chang Ziking looked at Yang Ruoqian's speechless look and felt even more proud in her heart. Even such a powerful person as the boss was shocked by her success, which meant that she had definitely made a great contribution. "Boss? Landlord? Yang Ruoqian?" Chang Ziking shook Yang Ruoqian's arm vigorously, and her joy was beyond words. "I know you have invested a lot of energy in the company, and it was not going well in the early stage. The sudden turn of events has a great impact on you. We succeeded." Yang Ruoqian was pulled all over the place, and he didn't know how to respond. Turn of events? Speechless with joy, my blood pressure soared, and I almost fainted. "Yes, I'm so happy that I need to calm down," Yang Ruoqian said weakly with his dead fish eyes. Chang Ziking's operation really made Yang Ruoqian's scalp numb. The data from Xiaopo Station, Shark Live, Douyin, and other major platforms added together, it is obvious that Gao Neian's real number of fans will definitely not be limited by 100,000. Yang Ruoqian ignored Chang Ziking, who was chattering and asking for credit and reward, and opened the system panel with despair. It shows that Gao Neian's real number of fans has reached 102,000 at this time. In other words, the bonus issued by the system is about to drop to the level of obscure. The company account and personal account can get a reward of 50,000 respectively, a total of 100,000. What is the concept of 100,000? If the bank loan is repaid with principal and interest every month, there will probably be enough money left for food. The only good news is that, although the 200,000 yuan quota issued unconditionally by the system every month cannot be used to repay the loan, the star bonus and company profits are not subject to this restriction. Most corporate loans are divided into two types, equal principal and interest first and principal later. The monthly repayment pressure of the former will be much greater, but the advantage is that as the repayment continues, the principal owed will decrease month by month, and the interest will be lower in the future. This is the repayment method chosen by Yang Ruoqian. Well, one of his employees is a senior executive with a monthly income of 20,000, another internet celebrity with a guaranteed monthly income of 8,000. And as their boss, I work hard for a week, and in the end I only have enough money for food. What kind of magical company is this? Chapter 10, Rich and Poor. When Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking were riding in the car to work, he was in a daze. He didn't even have much energy for work. How could he still have the mood to work? After Yang Ruoqian's careful guidance and Chang Ziking's hard work in the past 2 days, the plan to make money by relying on Gao Neian has completely gone down the drain. This little girl who had never been popular before actually became an internet celebrity with 100,000 real fans in 2 days. From the initial expectation of 50 million bonus to the current 50,000 bonus, the gap is so big, just like wanting to buy a copy of Romeo and Juliet and finding out it's Romeo and Kublai Khan after buying it home. Every time the number of followers of Gao Neian's account jumps upward, it is like a sickle that harvests Yang Ruoqian's beloved flesh. This state continued until he got home from get off work. At 12 o'clock in the morning, the new month arrived, and the system finally began the first monthly settlement. Yang Ruoqian opened the panel weekly, waiting for the system's verdict. 18-line artist training system. Host, Yang Ruoqian. Artists under the company. 1 person, Gao Neian. The number of real fans of this artist. 130,000. Qualified for the Buka level reward. Rewards have been issued company funds. 256,273, 200,000 monthly quota, 50,000 bonus for the celebrity status, 6,273 company profit. Note, the monthly quota cannot be used to repay loans, and all company funds cannot be transferred to the host's personal account in any form at the same time. A ding sound came from Yang Ruoqian's mobile phone, indicating that 50,000 was transferred to his card. I'll pay it back tomorrow. At least let this money stay in my arms for a while, Yang Ruoqian muttered to himself. Just when he was about to close the panel and go to bed, the system popped up 2 new messages. Congratulations to the host for training the first artist. Now unlock a new coma benefit. You can choose an urgently needed item of any category for the company, and the system will reimburse it in full. Warning: this product must be what the company needs. If it exceeds this scope, the system will not reimburse. The system has the final right of interpretation. Company expansion task. If a company wants to run healthily, it cannot do without capable employees. Please expand the company to more than 10 people. After the task is completed, the monthly quota issued by the system will be upgraded from 200,000 per month to 500,000 per month. Seeing these 2 messages, Yang Ruoqian, who had a depressed face, suddenly brightened up. This system is still a human being. The first reward means that Yang Ruoqian can choose any kind of items within a reasonable range and assign them to the company without paying a penny. The company's special car that I was worried about before, isn't it here? No, the pattern is small. Yang Ruoqian thought about it and sneered. Since it is any item, why bother with a special car? Go straight to 1 step, the entire company's special plane. However, as soon as this idea was born, the mechanical voice of the system echoed in his mind. Does not meet the reimbursement standards. Well, it seems that there is still no loophole to drill. Then, Rolls-Royce, Bentley, does not meet the reimbursement criteria. Yang Wangyu 8. This model has not been found in the current era. Well, what about the lowest end Audi A8? Yang Ruoqian lowered his requirements again. Meets the reimbursement criteria. Not bad. Yang Ruoqian breathed a sigh of relief. At least his wish to buy a car was not in vain. The system was still a bit conscientious. The problem of the car was solved. As for the second task of expanding the company, Yang Ruoqian also had an immature idea in his mind. The system only required the recruitment of employees, but did not say what kind of employees. A company has many important documents that need to be strictly guarded 24 hours a day. It is reasonable to recruit a few security guards, right? An 8-hour work system means 3 shifts for 24 hours, and 3 security guards are needed. As the face of a company, the front desk reception is very important, right? In order to prevent accidents, it is reasonable to recruit 2 front desks, right? The company needs to be clean and tidy, so it is very reasonable to recruit a cleaning lady. Finally, if you recruit a random manker, you can just get 10 employees together and increase the company's monthly quota to 500,000. The monthly cost of these employees will not exceed 30,000, but the system can give an extra 300,000 quota every month, which is really a bloody profit. With the money from Shaxson Hotel in my hand, I plan to buy $1 million luxury car and recruit more employees. Yang Ruoqian complained, my financial situation is really magical. If outsiders visit Kuiguang Group, they will definitely sigh that the company's welfare benefits are so good, and the special car is a luxury car. It must be very profitable and the boss must be very rich. But the actual situation is that as the boss, Yang Ruoqian is just barely in a state of not starving to death. No matter how rich the company is, Yang Ruoqian can't get a penny. The next morning, Yang Ruoqian deliberately changed into more high-end clothes. As soon as he went out, Chang Ziking, who was waiting next to him, said, "Oh, you are dressed so formally today. Are you going to meet a client?" "I'm the boss. It is related to the image of the company." Yang Ruoqian adjusted the clothes that he hadn't worn for a long time, "and we have other things to do these days." "What are you going to do?" Chang Ziking, who was wearing a slim professional suit, stepped on high heels and pressed the elevator button, asking curiously. The elevator door opened, and the two walked into the elevator together. Yang Ruoqian pretended to be mysterious. "Don't you think our company is missing something?" We are missing anchors, agents, and operations. Chang Ziking said without hesitation, relying solely on receiving tips. The ability to realize cash is too poor and not sustainable. Boss, we need to recruit more people. Generally speaking, the career life of non-head anchors is only about 3 years. Relying solely on spontaneous tips from the audience is also very unstable. If you want to last long, you must use high quality short video content to attract traffic and take advertisements to make money. The live broadcast content, on the other hand, is moving towards the direction of bringing goods. How to design, shoot and publish high quality videos at a high frequency, how to make a living scientifically and reasonably, how to bring goods in an inciting way. These things are very knowledgeable, and it is difficult to accomplish without recruiting professionals to form a professional team. Yang Ruoqian shook his head and sighed. No, we are now short of receptionists, security guards and cleaning ladies. Go and post recruitment information online now. You. Chang Ziking, who was playing the lute to a cow, was angry. Can you think more about the future of the company? You have to think about what you can bring to the company. What receptionist? What does your crappy company with 3 people need a receptionist? I can do it alone. And security guards. What thief would want to work in this damn place? Don't overestimate yourself. As a boss, can you pay more attention to the company? The emperor is not anxious, but the eunuch is anxious. Yang Ruoqian opened the door of the company and complained. Generally speaking, isn't this the rhetoric that bosses use when they make promises to employees? Why did it become the employees who kept making promises to the boss in his company? A reversal of the 2 poles, right? Chapter 11, Wuling Hanguang. After persuading her in vain, Chang Ziking asked feebly, forget it, you are the boss, you have the final say. But what are the recruitment standards? How many positions are needed? And what are the benefits? You have to tell me about this, right? It's really tiring to have such a prodigal boss. 3 security guards, 1 cleaner, 2 receptionists, and another anchor. Yang Ruoqian, who had already thought about it, said quickly, Gaonayan has become a well-known internet celebrity, and there is no way to get more wool from the system, so Yang Ruoqian has to find a new anchor as soon as possible this time. Otherwise, as the boss of a profitable and healthy company, he is at risk of starving to death. In terms of benefits, it is still the same as before, with high salary and high benefits, and only one requirement, worry-free. As for the requirements for anchors, most of them are about loving the industry, being enterprising, and other seemingly high-sounding nonsense, but in fact completely useless. In order to dissuade those capable people, Yang Ruoqian deliberately did not mention the salary of the anchor position, and did not even give a rough range, creating the feeling of a black-hearted boss who is painting a pie in the sky. Generally, only those who are desperate and rejected by most companies will apply for this kind of position. It will also be easier for Yang Ruoqian to find the talent he needs. They can think of looking for anchors instead of cafeteria aunties. The company is saved. Chang Ziking complained as usual. Our company is not big enough and there are not many people. There is no need to do it. Chang Ziking took a deep breath to calm her blood pressure, which was infinitely raised. You mean you actually want to do it, right? Hurry up and work. Stop talking nonsense. The two spent several hours registering accounts on different online recruitment platforms and completing the authentication. Then they filled in all of Yang Ruoqian's requirements and completed the posting. Hey, it's finally not a company for 2 people. After doing all this, Chang Ziking stretched her waist, showing off her wonderful figure. I, the so-called director, finally have someone to manage me. Yang Ruoqian looked at the time and asked casually, don't you still have Gaonayan to manage? It's not fulfilling to manage that kid. Just after he finished speaking, there was a sound of footsteps at the entrance of the company. Gaonayan, who was wearing a casual suit and a simple ponytail, hurriedly pushed open the glass door of the company and ran in breathlessly. Boss, Mr. Chang. Gaonayan nodded, and his voice was very low, like a child who had made a mistake. The plane was delayed. I'm late. Sorry. The 3 of them were very familiar with each other, but in the company, Gaonayan still unconsciously called his position and followed the rules very much. Although Yang Ruoqian never made any rules, Yang Ruoqian wished that Gaonayan would broadcast less and increase his followers more slowly. He didn't care about being late at all and waved his hand generously. It's okay, force majeure, it's not your fault. I'll start broadcasting now. Gaonayan was full of fighting spirit and waved his fist. I will try to increase my followers to 500,000. Increase to 500,000 followers? Then I can only earn 5,000 yuan from the system in a month. A system that rewards 5,000 yuan a month would make people laugh to death in the entire world of time travel and rebirth. Yang Ruoqian immediately started talking nonsense to stop Gaonayan's dangerous idea. If you want to work efficiently, you must combine work and rest. If you want more viewers, you must use hunger marketing. You just got off the plane and the audience has just watched your live broadcast. Why are you in a hurry? You don't have to start the broadcast today. Let's go. You said you would treat us to a meal. Let's go now. Gaonayan nodded like a chicken pecking at rice, without even a trace of doubt. Okay, boss and sister Chang. What does President Chang want to eat? Looking at the conversation between the two people in front of her, Chang Ziking was dumbfounded. No, my good roommate, you believe this nonsense? The degree of nonsense of this talk is the same as the more online novels are discontinued, the more people read them. Any normal person would not believe it, right? Girl, don't be fooled by this black-hearted capitalist. Chang Ziking opened her mouth several times and wanted to say something, but seeing the unreserved trust in Gaonayan's eyes, she silently swallowed the words into her stomach. Haha, whatever you want. It's better to think about what to eat later. I want to eat hot pot. As a hottie, Chang Ziking suggested. Nayan, just wait for your blood to flow. I have no objection. Yang Ruoqian nodded and set his sights on Gaonayan. Gaonayan nodded quickly. I will listen to the boss. You are hopeless. Chang Ziking pulled Gaonayan away, feeling very disappointed. How can you listen to the boss? The boss has to pay me a salary. The three of them talked and laughed all the way into a nearby hot pot restaurant. Ding ding. As soon as they sat down, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking's mobile phones rang at the same time. They both lowered their heads at the same time and saw a text message from the recruitment platform. Dear boss, you have an unread message from a job seeker. So fast? How long has the recruitment information been released? Yang Ruoqian was a little surprised. He opened the online recruitment app and found that someone came to apply for the anchor position. Hello, boss. I think I meet your recruitment requirements. No resume? Not even a sentence of introduction? Yang Ruoqian looked at the message and suddenly got excited. This person looked unreliable and he was the talent he urgently needed. What's this? Online recruitment platforms are unreliable. Chang Ziking, who was sitting next to him, frowned. With just this one sentence, who knows if he meets the interview requirements? I'll go get his resume. Hey, you're wrong. Yang Ruoqian denied Chang Ziking's rigorous attitude and corrected her. You have to learn to analyze the essence of things, not just look at the surface. This person didn't submit a resume, didn't ask about the salary, and just threw this sentence to me. What does it mean? Chang Ziking was confused. What does it mean? Yang Ruoqian picked up a piece of fat beef and put it in his mouth and said mysteriously, it means that he has sufficient confidence in his abilities and has a full understanding of the industry. Such people are exactly the talents we need. Is that so? Chang Ziking was stunned by what he said. The boss is right. Gaonayan agreed immediately. On the phone, the job seeker saw that the recruiter did not reply, so he sent another message. When can I come to the company for an interview? Two of the three people in the entire company were idle, so Yang Ruoqian replied directly. Any time between 9 AM and 5 PM on weekdays is fine. Then I'll come later. After this sentence was sent, the other party's account was displayed as offline. Come later? This person is quite resolute. Yang Ruoqian did not care too much, put down his phone, and began to clear the food on the table. After sweeping away everything, the three of them walked back from the hot pot restaurant to Shengjing Haoyuan, the high-end office building, where Yang Ruoqian's company was located. At this time, a shabby 50 Hongguang van drove in from outside and parked in an empty open-air parking space. After turning off the engine and opening the door, an ugly man with a greasy face, long hair almost dragging to his chest, and a wobbly belly got out of the car. Compared to the young talents nearby who were dressed in suits and successful people, he looked so out of place in his oversized shirt, striped shorts and sneakers, just like a street kid. The man looked at the high-end office building without hesitation, and said to himself in a serious tone, "Shengjing Haoyan, Kuiguang Group. Come on, Huang Rushi. You can do it." Chapter 12. In this impetuous world, you must twist to attract traffic. After Huang Rushi registered his identity at the front desk, he entered the same elevator with the 3 handsome men and beautiful women around him under the distrustful gaze of the security guard. The 3 people were all tall and handsome, and they were far superior to him in both appearance and image. Huang Rushi's courage, which had just been mustered, was lost again. Before this, he had been rejected by countless companies. The most common comment was, with this appearance and this figure, it is a bit unnecessary to want to be an internet celebrity. Just when he felt that these companies looked at people too superficially and wanted to leave in anger, he suddenly saw a recruitment information posted by a company called Kuiguang Entertainment Media Co. Limited. On the internet, Huang Rushi felt that he met the several conditions required for the recruitment, and the address of Kuiguang Group happened to be one of the most high-end office buildings in the city, so he hurried over. To be able to rent such a high-end office building in Jinhai City as an office location, this company must be quite large. If he could be hired, he must have a bright future. But the question is, can they look down on him? He didn't have outstanding looks, nor did he have his own traffic. He was also a male anchor. Even the beauty camera couldn't save him. There was no profit point at all. Let's give it a try. What if? He believed that he was a good horse, and the only thing he lacked was a good horse trainer. Huang Rushi's mind was full of thoughts. He was worried and expectant about his future. He stood stupidly in the elevator for dozens of seconds before he remembered that he had forgotten to press the floor. Just when he was about to reach out and press the 24th floor, he found that the button was lit. It turned out that the handsome guy next to him was also going to the 24th floor. What a coincidence. Huang Rushi nervously watched the elevator floor numbers go up little by little and felt his heartbeat rise with it. That feeling was like the people who wrote online novels, who were looking forward to the short stop every day, with a hint of unrealistic expectations in the torment. Ding. On the LCD screen of the elevator, the number was fixed at 24. Huang Rushi waited until the 3 people left the elevator before he dared to go out. Looking left and right, he suddenly saw that the 3 people who took the same elevator with him actually walked straight into the room called Kuiguang Entertainment Media Co. Limited. These 3 handsome men and beautiful women are employees of Kuiguang Entertainment. Even if you only look at their side faces, they are so beautiful. Are they the artists under the big group? Huang Rushi looked at his own situation and suddenly backed off. His conditions are indeed a bit poor. But, since he has come here, is he going to go back like this? Are you willing? Huang Rushi took a deep breath, raised his head, and walked into the office with his head held high. Looking inside, Huang Rushi secretly exclaimed in his heart, is this working environment a bit too good? Fitness room, leisure room, tea room. The desk is just short of protecting the privacy of employees as confidential. There is also a live broadcast room equipped with soundproof panels. Huang Rushi went to many companies for job applications, and none of them had such a good working environment. It is worthy of being a company that can rent an office in Shengjing Haoyan. It is not short of money at a glance. It is just, why is there no one at the front desk? Huang Rushi stood there awkwardly for 2 minutes, and finally couldn't help but raise his voice and shouted inside, "Excuse me, is anyone there?" As soon as he finished speaking, Gao Nayan, a tall figure, came out, blinked his eyes, and asked, "Sir, what can I do for you?" When Huang Rushi saw Gao Nayan's face, he was shocked. This girl's eyebrows and eyes are like the sheep-killing girl Yunne who has been popular on the internet recently. Although she covered half of her face during the live broadcast, this temperament is definitely not wrong. She is also an artist under Kuiguang Entertainment! This company is probably very powerful. Will I be chosen? Holding the mentality of trying everything possible, Huang Rushi made up his mind and said, "Hello, I'm here to apply for a job." "Oh, the boss's office is at the back. Just walk a little further and you can see it." Huang Rushi thanked her and walked forward in the direction Gaonayan pointed. When walking towards Yang Ruoqian's office, Huang Rushi felt a little confused. Strange, why does it seem that there are not many people in the company? Such a powerful group should have people from all departments working around the clock. Maybe most of the anchors don't work in the company, but broadcast live outdoors? Thinking of Gaonayan's live broadcast of slaughtering sheep, Huang Rushi felt that he had found the correct answer. Dong dong dong. Huang Rushi tried hard to calm himself down before knocking on the wooden door of Yang Ruoqian's office. Come in. The voice of the young man inside was neither loud nor low. Pushing the door open, the young man who was in the elevator just now came into view. He is actually the boss of this company? Exclamation mark. He is too young. Others are the boss of a large company at a young age, while he is still worried about what to eat for the next meal. What a difference. Sit down, don't be so polite. Yang Ruoqian spoke first. Your name is Huang Rushi, right? Huang Rushi said stiffly. Hello, Mr. Yang. I'm here to apply for the anchor position of your company. Relax. Yang Ruoqian poured a cup of hot coffee into a paper cup and pushed it to Huang Rushi. Briefly introduce yourself and why you think you are qualified for this position. Huang Rushi took the coffee but just held it tightly in his hand without drinking a sip. He suppressed his complex emotions and talked about his abilities, resume and understanding of the live broadcast industry. I have taught myself some street dance. I have studied live broadcast courses on Douyin seriously. It's not free, it's paid, a full 9.9. I believe I have a sufficient understanding of this industry. Yang Ruoqian on the opposite side listened very seriously, sipping coffee from time to time, and nodded thoughtfully. Seeing the interviewer's attitude, Huang Rushi relaxed a little and spoke more fluently. However, he didn't know that Yang Ruoqian, who had read Huang Rushi's resume through the system, had long been impatient. This resume, this face, this figure, this voice, this age. Douyin 9.9 course, this thing does not lead people into the trap. It can be considered that the course seller has a conscience that is really a lounge and cannot find a shining point. Phoenix, absolutely Phoenix. Huang Rushi is so smart, he is my dream employee. Yang Ruoqian broke his head and couldn't figure out how such a person could become popular. If even such a person can become popular by doing live broadcasts, then Yang Ruoqian can be very irresponsible and say that every earthling has an unshakable responsibility. What content to broadcast, future prospects, etc. Is it important? Not important at all. A few minutes later, Huang Rushi finished a lot of things and waited expectantly for the judgment when Yang Ruoqian just finished the last sip of coffee in the cup. Generally okay. Hearing this evaluation, Huang Rushi, who was originally full of confidence, felt half disappointed. If nothing unexpected happens, the next thing is but. However, your understanding of live broadcasting is not in place in some places. Yang Ruoqian said earnestly, when you live broadcast in our group in the future, you must not make such low-level mistakes. Sure enough, but, wait. What did Mr. Yang say just now? Exclamation mark. Live broadcast in our group in the future? Exclamation mark. What does this mean? He was accepted. Exclamation mark. Huang Rushi suppressed his excitement, and his voice was trembling. Mr. Yang, you say, I'm listening. Do you know what content is most likely to go viral now? I don't know. He answered loudly, because the 9.9 course didn't teach it. It's just a sideline, understand? It's a sideline. Yang Ruoqian took out his mobile phone, casually found the live broadcast room of some female anchors in the dance area, and handed it to Huang Rushi. In this impetuous and fast food era, only by twisting can there be traffic. Huang Rushi was like listening to sleep talk, and couldn't help asking, but, Mr. Yang, I'm a male anchor? With his looks and figure, how can he be a sideline? Yang Ruoqian's nonsense skills have improved by leaps and bounds during this period, and he blurts out nonsense. Hey, you don't understand this? Male anchors have incomparable advantages over female anchors in the field of wiping, but you haven't realized it yet. What advantages? Huang Rushi had given up thinking and asked stupidly. Chapter 13 A Foolproof Plan. As a man, you can only wear shorts when dancing. Yang Ruoqian tried hard not to laugh out loud and said seriously, can female anchors do this? No. This is your advantage, understand? So that's how it is. Except for something wrong, it seems to be quite right. Huang Rush's brain was already stuck, and he said woodenly, boss, that's a good idea. Very good. Yang Ruoqian nodded. Next, let's talk about salary and benefits. Because you are a new anchor and don't have your own traffic, we can only give you a basic salary of 8,000 after tax for the time being, and we have to deduct 10% of your live broadcast flow. Is that okay? Only, give, 8,000? This is called only? Before coming, Huang Rush's expected basic salary was only 1,000. Is he worth a basic salary of 8,000? Is this an affirmation of his ability? He finally met a mentor who recognized his ability. After hesitating for a long time, Huang Rushi excitedly said, no problem. Mr. Yang. As long as you have no objection to the salary, I won't talk about the basic things like 5 social insurances, and 1 housing fund, 4-hour work system and 2 days off. Yang Ruoqian took out a labor contract from the drawer, signed his name, and handed it to Huang Rushi. You will officially start work tomorrow. Anchors are different from other professions. The 4-hour live broadcast time a day is already very long. 5 social insurances, and 1 housing fund, 4-hour work system, 2 days off, exclamation mark. Formal employment, no probation period. Is this a big company? After signing the contract, completing the entry procedures, and leaving Kuiguang Entertainment, Huang Rushi was still in a trance, as if in a dream. A job with a high base salary and high commission. Was it so easy to get it? It was just a formality. If Huang Rushi hadn't seen Gao Nayan working in this company with his own eyes, he would have almost suspected that he had joined a fraudulent company. Such a godlike boss, such a godlike company. Huang Rushi glanced at the contract in his hand and made up his mind. I must work hard to achieve results and never let Mr. Yang down. I don't believe you can still let me down this time. Yang Ruoqian watched Huang Rushi leave, feeling secretly happy. In the live broadcasting industry of the previous life, the biggest difference between male and female anchors is that female anchors are likely to attract one or several super bosses because of their appearance, and then rush to the recommended position through the money ability of the big bosses to gain traffic. It is not uncommon for 2 or 3 people to support the entire live broadcast room. Among them, only the 2 factors of appearance and luck play a role. The role of ability can be completely ignored. Basically, just twisting a few times will do the trick. Male anchors rarely have such opportunities. It is much more difficult to hang out with rich women than to hang out with rich men. If you want to stand out, the best way is to have a solid craft on the basis of both appearance and eloquence reaching the qualified line. The most common one is superb game skills. The rarest one is dancing. In the dance area of the live broadcast platform, 99% of the anchors are female. Because men who can dance are generally good looking, they will basically choose to debut in the entertainment industry instead of doing live broadcasting. As long as the female anchors dance without touching the bottom line of the platform, the cooler they wear, the more they can attract LSBS. But an ugly and fat man dancing with his bare chest can only make people feel horrified. Moreover, big anchors generally do not check the rooms of unknown male anchors, which can greatly avoid unexpected situations. In short, male anchors go to the dance area, and there is only one way to go. And this is the effect Yang Ruoqian hopes to see. After a detailed investigation of the market and a complete analysis of the live audience, Yang Ruoqian has a deeper understanding of how to mess up a live broadcast. Broadcast what the audience doesn't like to watch. Step on all the minds. No, this is not enough. After experiencing the painful success lesson before, Yang Ruoqian will not be careless again. From the live broadcast time, live broadcast venue to the camera angle, he will personally screen them. Yang Ruoqian personally took charge of the project, and he was bound to eliminate all factors that were favorable to live streaming from the root. First of all, the live streaming time must be as shady as possible, and it is best to choose it in the middle of the night when everyone is asleep. There are very few people watching the live streaming during this period of time, and even if there are, they will not come to see a male anchor dancing with his bare chest. Then there is a live streaming venue. Yang Ruoqian learned from the last lesson and planned to randomly choose an empty and dim street as Huang Rush's street dance stage. Finally, there is the issue of photography, which is full of knowledge. A good photographer can make a monster look like a beauty. Similarly, a bad photographer can also make an aircraft carrier look like a fishing boat. What are Huang Rush's shortcomings? In his dark face and fat body. As long as the camera zooms in and focuses back and forth on Huang Rush's face and body, the audience can unconsciously focus their attention on him, making the audience feel twice as disgusted and getting twice the result with half the effort. There is also the UI interface of the live streaming, and you can add titles such as Big Gift, Click Dance and so on. Even if some big anchors put up such titles, they are often scolded by the audience for being greedy for money. Not to mention new anchors. Most of them will be scolded for not having the fate of a big anchor, but having the disease of a big anchor. A perfect plan, no loopholes or blind spots in all aspects. Yang Ruoqian sneered. This live broadcast plan, whether visually, in terms of time or spirit, has completely disgusted the audience. At the end, there is still a title asking the audience whether they need to pay for the disgusting intimate service. It is almost a face-covering laugh. How can such an anchor become popular? With such a comprehensive and genius live broadcast plan that disgusts the audience, wouldn't the system's top reward be easy to get? Yang Ruoqian was feeling proud of his plan when suddenly there was a thumping sound of high heels hitting the ground outside the office. 2 seconds later, the office door was pushed open and Chang Ziking, wearing a slim professional suit, strode in. The girl looked helpless, slapped her hands on the desk, bent down and looked at Yang Ruoqian. The complex emotions almost overflowed from her beautiful eyes. Yang Ruoqian. My dear boss, you gave that guy a basic salary of 8,000? This posture, what kind of scene is in Yang Ruoqian's perspective? Needless to say, the figure is really good. Although the two are very familiar with each other, it is still too early for Yang Ruoqian to be so beautiful. He slightly moved his eyes away and coughed lightly. Chang Ziking, pay attention to your image in the office. Chang Ziking realized how bold her posture was. Her face flushed, and she quickly reached out to cover her chest, and said shyly, be serious. Let's talk about business. TSK, Chang Ziking, who has always been like a buddy to me, would also show this expression. With just this one episode, Yang Ruoqian had already made up a whole set of twisted logic. Chang Ziking, I've been saying, differentiation, differentiation. As a small company and a small anchor, we must avoid involution and learn to capture those audiences that are not valued. Boss. Chang Ziking covered her chest and put her pretty face closer. Then what program do you plan to arrange for him to broadcast so that he can open up another track? Chapter 14 Scene Setting. Yang Ruoqian stepped back a little, creating a safe distance between him and Chang Ziking, and pointed to the sofa not far away. Aren't you tired of standing? Sit down and listen. Chang Ziking took 2 steps back, sat elegantly on the sofa, crossed her long legs, hooked her high heels with her toes, and smiled evilly. Man, are you caring about me? If you read any more messy online novels during working hours, your salary will be deducted. Yang Ruoqian sneered. He was no longer surprised by Chang Ziking's cheerful and lively personality and love of joking. Chang Ziking immediately admitted defeat. Okay, tell me what you think. Yang Ruoqian kept it a secret. Please prepare some equipment for me, and you will know tomorrow. The male anchor dancing on the street in the middle of the night. This kind of thing that sounds full of loopholes. It's okay to fool Gayo Nayan and Huang Rushi, to iron fools, but Chang Ziking is not so easy to be fooled. So just don't say it. Live broadcast equipment? Chang Ziking rolled her eyes. The batch of goods you bought earlier is still mostly unsold. The cameras and video cameras are all high-end stuff. Enough for you. No, I don't want high-end stuff. Yang Ruoqian chuckled. I need the kind of photography equipment that makes the picture blurry just right. It is necessary to make the audience wonder which dynasty this anchor was unearthed from. Chang Ziking frowned slightly. What a strange request. Let me keep an eye out for you. When do you want it? Deliberately delaying time will violate the system rules and will not get rewards. Yang Ruoqian felt regretful, but he could only say, it's best not to exceed tomorrow. Why didn't you say so earlier? Chang Ziking stood up from the sofa and rushed out of the office. It's almost time to get off work. I still have to place an order for you. Yang Ruoqian smiled and shook his head. He opened the map on the computer and searched for a suitable live broadcast location throughout Jinhae City. This process is very complicated. Yang Ruoqian needs to find a small path in the huge map that will not affect the performance of the dance, and he also needs to use the panoramic function from time to time to look at the specific environment. This cycle, comparing each other, can find the most suitable live broadcast venue. An hour passed quickly, and it was time to get off work. Chang Ziking once again pushed open the door of the chairman's office and shouted, "It's time to get off work, let's go back together." Yang Ruoqian, who was carefully studying the map, raised his head and looked at Chang Ziking leaning against the door and Gao Nayan, who was secretly looking into the office behind her. After thinking for a while, he refused and said, "You two go back first, I'll work overtime." Overtime. Chang Ziking had no doubt about this statement, because Yang Ruoqian worked overtime until midnight every day during the most difficult period of the company's operation. "I'll stay and help you?" "No, it's just a small matter, and it will be done soon." If he lives again, he will never let Chang Ziking work overtime again. Chang Ziking unscrewed the bottle of mineral water and took a sip. "Really? If you really don't need it, I'll really leave. You two girls, be careful on the road." Yang Ruoqian waved his hand and continued to work with his head down. Since the boss is not polite, there is no need for employees to be polite. Chang Ziking shrugged her shoulders, hung the key on the door handle, and said to Gao Nayan, "Nayan, let's go." After that, Chang Ziking turned around. Gao Nayan chuckled softly, "See you tomorrow, boss." Then she closed the door gently, turned around and followed Chang Ziking out of the office. Gao Nayan walked all the way to the elevator in trance, lowered her head slightly, stared at the long legs in front of her, and whispered, "Sister Chang, what's wrong?" Chang Ziking asked with a smile, while fiddling with her nails. "She still cares for this silly roommate." Gao Nayan interlocked her fingers and spoke even more softly, "Sister Chang, that is, what is your relationship with the boss?" With a click, the nail on Chang Ziking's index finger broke into 2 pieces and fell to the ground. After a few seconds, Chang Ziking held up her skirt, squatted down, picked up the nail polish on the ground, threw it into the trash can under the elevator button, and casually said, "It's nothing. What's wrong?" "Yeah, then Sister Chang, do you know what the boss likes? Can you tell me?" "Sure, I'll tell you when I get back." Beep beep beep. The sound of the 50 Kuiguang engine shutting down came from the parking lot. Huang Rushi opened the shabby car door and held the labor contract he had just received tightly in his hand, as if protecting a precious treasure. On the way back to the dormitory, Huang Rushi was still dreaming. He was hired now. He had a monthly salary of 8,000. It seemed that even the weather was infected by Huang Rushi's joyful mood. The hot summer was actually filled with a slight cool breeze, and even the rough and unpleasant voices of his roommates in the rental house became cute. TSK Zhang, this young lady really found the password for traffic. It's a pity that this kind of successful experience cannot be copied. What are you thinking? Even if it can be copied, it's not something that we rough guys can learn. To be honest, it's a bit sour. Why did you think so hard at the beginning and insist on entering this industry? Huang Rushi had heard all kinds of complaints. When ordinary people talk about the entertainment industry, they either talk about handsome men and beautiful women, or about being drunk and decadent, or all kinds of scandals and gossip. But no matter which one, they all have a common label, glamorous. At least it's just a beautiful appearance. The stars are too dazzling, covering up the darkness of the entertainment industry, causing many people to be unable to see that compared to being rich, the words poverty and hardship are more suitable for most people in this industry. Artists can't even eat enough. This is the norm in the entertainment industry. Fortunately, I have already escaped from this sea of suffering in advance. Huang Rushi pushed open the door of the dormitory, stepped over the various messy basins, clothes, tissues and other standard equipment for boys' dormitories, and sat down on the bed. When his roommate saw him coming back, he put down his phone and casually said, "Hello, are you back? Did you have another interview today? How was the result?" In fact, it was just a casual question. Everyone knew that with Huang Rush's conditions, no one would want him, whether he chose the traditional route or the anchor route. He went out early and came back late every day, busy for several months, and the most common comment he received was remember to seize the opportunity to enter the factory. In other words, Huang Rushi was as stubborn as a donkey. If it was someone else, they would have given up long ago. This made everyone a little concerned about his mental state, fearing that he would go completely crazy one day and fall into it and couldn't get out. Holding the high-paying contract in his hand, Huang Rushi spoke with a lot of confidence. Fortunately, there is some progress. His roommate subconsciously joked. Sure enough, they sent it again. Wait, what? There is progress? Yes. Huang Rushi picked up the contract in his hand and waved it at his classmates twice, his tone full of pride. The contract has been signed, and I will officially start work tomorrow. What the hell? Which company is so blind? Even you are hired? The roommate jumped down from the upper bunk, snatched the labor contract from Huang Rushi's hand, and flipped it left and right. 8,000 after tax, and no liability guarantee, and only 10% commission? Where did this philanthropist come from? Poverty alleviation, right? Aren't you afraid of losing everything? I've never heard of Kuiguang Entertainment. Isn't it a scam company? Have you checked it with Sky Eye? Huang Rushi took back the contract and folded it carefully and put it away. The company is located in Shengjing Haoyuan. The slaughtering girl you just watched is also a ranker under their company. How could it be a scam company? There is no need to check. Yane is under their company? Then, it should be quite reliable. The roommate finally believed it a little, but his heart was more shaken. But what do they see in you? This company is very good at operation. Yane is not the same. She suddenly became popular overnight from obscurity. Huang Rushi, who was recognized by the big company, was quite proud of his life at this time. Maybe they found some unique and popular temperament in me? What kind of temperament can you have? The roommate couldn't help but complain. Huang Rushi was about to refute this, and suddenly a message of special concern came from his mobile phone. Among all the contacts, Huang Rushi only set the boss as a special concern. The boss wants to talk to him about something. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 15, a very explosive live broadcast. Although it was late, working overtime was not a big deal for such a generous boss. Huang Rushi picked up his phone and gave his roommate an apologetic look. The boss is looking for me. Wait a minute. Okay, work is important. He turned on his phone and saw several messages from someone labeled Boss Yang. There were a few pictures and a navigation location. After the judgment of the company's professional team, we think the most suitable time for your live broadcast is from 10 PM to 2 AM. I have sent you the location. Do you accept it? 8,000 yuan salary for our work system. What's unacceptable? It's just that the time is a little late and the live broadcast location is a little bit shady. Adjust the time difference and apply some floral water. It's no big deal. Compared with his roommates who are so poor that they can only eat instant noodles, Huang Rushi has experienced many rejections. He cherishes this hard-won job very much. As long as the boss doesn't do something anti-human, he will definitely not resign easily. Moreover, the company's welfare benefits are so good, as the boss, Yang Ruoqian, will definitely not be that kind of person. As for the company's arrangements, Huang Rushi had even less objections. Being able to turn a low-level anchor like Yunne who had no background and no traffic into an internet celebrity with more than 100,000 and nearly 200,000 fans in just a few days, one can imagine how professional and meticulous the operation team of Kuiguang Group is. In today's world, where internal competition is so fierce and the live broadcast environment is getting worse and worse, it only takes a few days to make a passer be famous. This professional team of the company is probably an industry elite who can accurately grasp the market environment, understand the needs of the audience, and always be at the forefront of the trend. How can a rookie like him compare to the professional judgments made by others based on their professional vision? Huang Rushi immediately replied, "Boss, I don't have any problems." A few minutes after the message was sent, Yang Ruoqian did not send any reply. They were probably busy with those big projects worth hundreds of millions and had no time to take care of a newcomer like me. Although he got the job and the contract also stated a basic salary of 8,000 without responsibility, Huang Rushi knew that the so-called without responsibility would not be truly irresponsible. If his live broadcast data never improved, he would definitely be fired. What is N+1 compensation for a big company? No, the compensation from Kuiguang Group seems to be 2N+1. It makes them look even more wealthy. When the roommate saw Huang Rushi put down his phone, he asked, "How is it? Did your leader assign you any terrible tasks?" "It's not that exaggerated." Huang Rushi laughed. "It's just that the working hours are scheduled for the early morning. That's it? No other requirements? What does this company want? They give you a basic salary of 8,000 yuan? You can't attract steel wool with your ugly appearance?" Huang Rushi was angry. "I can see it. You just can't stand me being good, right? What you said makes me a little tempted. Can you help me smooth out the relationships and see if you can get me into this company?" The rumor did feel a little jealous, but more of envy than jealousy. The requirements are not high. A basic salary of 1,000 yuan is fine, and a 20% commission is fine. The company address is right there. Go and apply for the job yourself. Huang Rushi knew that his roommate was joking, but he still said seriously, "I'm just a low-level employee in the company. There's no way I can smooth out the relationships for you." When he went to the company one day, he could easily see two beautiful women. Huang Rushi knew his position in the company. "Forget it. I have a clear understanding of myself. I definitely can't create a value of 8,000 a month. You work hard. If you become famous in the future, remember to help your brothers." After saying this, the roommate climbed back to the upper bunk and continued to watch the live broadcast. Huang Rushi was not in a hurry to go to bed because he had to work the night shift. It was not until dawn that his roommates left one after another. He finally fell into a deep sleep because of sleepiness that completely overwhelmed his willpower. Huang Rushi didn't wake up until the alarm clock rang, which made his heart stop. It was so tiring to run around looking for a job these days that he actually slept for more than 10 hours and slept until the evening. "I slept for a long time. It's almost time." Huang Rushi folded the quilt casually, washed his face simply, changed into his shirt and shorts, jogged all the way to the parking lot, and got into his beloved minivan. Click, click, click. After starting the engine twice, this 50 Hongguang, which had been used for many years, barely started with a violent noise. Huang Rushi did not roll down the window for ventilation as usual, but reached out to turn on a switch next to him, muttering to himself, "Let's be extravagant today," and turn on the air conditioner. When the van arrived at the destination, it was 9:30 in the evening, and there was still a full half an hour before the agreed working time. But he found that Yang Ruoqian had already set up various filming equipment and was idly swatting mosquitoes on the roadside. Oh no, the boss actually came in person? And so early? Huang Rushi hurriedly stopped the car on the side of the road and almost rushed to Yang Ruoqian. "Boss, I'm sorry, I'm late. Is this the reason why he is so successful at such a young age? He has to personally review everything, even in the hot weather, and with all kinds of mosquitoes. He has to come to the front line to supervise a new employee like himself. Such a big boss, but he is also a king of roles. I'm not late, I came early." Yang Ruoqian waved his hand to show that he didn't care. "Are you kidding? This is a project worth tens of millions. How can I not care? As long as Huang Rushi's project fails, 50 million will be in the account next month. Just thinking about it makes me feel so good. What he lost on Gaonayan, Yang Ruoqian will double it from Huang Rushi." Time passed by, and soon it was 10 o'clock in the evening. Yang Ruoqian opened the live broadcast room and pointed the camera at Huang Rushi. The 720p ultra blurry picture quality was immediately projected in the live broadcast room. Yes, this picture quality. It's summer. It's not grounded to wear such thick clothes. Just bare your chest. Yang Ruoqian suppressed his excitement and ordered in a steady tone, "Remember, you must follow your heart and don't let shame affect your performance." Hold your belly with one hand, put the other hand under your chin, and make a scissors hand. This gesture helps to hint to the audience to focus on your face and figure. Lean your body as much as possible, spread your thighs as much as possible, and make exaggerated movements. Yes, it's this kind of confident expression. It's right, that's it. This live broadcast was absolutely ugly. After confirming the initial action, Yang Ruoqian turned around with satisfaction and turned on the music player that connected the wireless headset to the live broadcast room. Huang Rushi suddenly heard a song with a cheerful rhythm. The song was called New Treasure Island. Chapter 16 Scam Video. At night, Shaoyuki curled up on the sofa, eating ice watermelon and enjoying the air conditioning, with his mobile phone in his hand, browsing through live broadcast rooms one after another. Hey, is the live broadcast censorship so strict now? It's really boring. It won't take long for the slightly decent anchors to be reminded that their live broadcast rooms are being rectified. After the rectification, the live broadcasts of those female anchors were boring again. Not only were the chats awkward, but some of them couldn't even speak clearly. While complaining, Shaoyuki still scooped a spoonful of ice watermelon and continued to refresh the live broadcast room, venting his emotions to these anchors in the barrage. High-level warrior, stop broadcasting and go to the screw factory. Why does this anchor have the superpower to distort space and still stay on the small shark platform as an anchor? Why not become a superhero and become famous? Don't be awkward, you're so bad at twisting. Why don't you broadcast games? Don't broadcast games, you're so bad at playing. Why don't you twist a piece for your brothers? It feels good. The feeling of typing on the keyboard to deliberately find fault on the internet is good. After mocking another anchor, Shaoyuki took off the glasses that hurt his ears, changed himself into a more comfortable position, and put the phone screen closer to his nose. Continue to look for the next victim. Shaoyuki swiped his finger downwards, and the light of the phone suddenly dimmed. On the screen, against the dim background, a dark and fat face was directly in front of Shaoyuki's eyes. Shaoyuki, who had already thought about how to criticize, had never seen such a shocking picture. His brain could not react at all and crashed instantly. What the hell is this? Perhaps because of the problem with the shooting equipment, this face looks a little blurry, but not so blurry, just stuck at that point. That makes people very uncomfortable. Then, a burst of light music came, and the anchor named Macho Dancer on the screen began to dance to the beat. The thick layer of fat on his arms and the exaggerated movement swung around in the air, forming a picture with a pollution level comparable to the whisper of the ancient gods. It took Shaoyuki a full 10 seconds to change his facial expression from confusion to bewilderment to shock. What the hell? But time waits for no one. In just 10 seconds, the macho dancer on the screen has switched to the next action. He put his hands diagonally over his shoulders, put his palms on his head, and made 3 or 4 large circles. Moistened by sweat, the only shiny abdominal muscle and the armpit hair under his armpits shook up and down in the wind. The photographer even gave a close-up, zooming in and out of these terrible pictures. What the hell? Where am I? What live broadcast platform am I on? What am I watching? Mom, my eyes are dirty. Get out of my phone. Shaoyuki screamed and was about to reach out to swipe away from the live broadcast room, but his finger seemed to be under some kind of magic and did not move. Because for some reason, he didn't want to leave this live broadcast room subconsciously. He actually wanted to keep watching. When Shaoyuki realized this, he knew that it was not that his eyes were dirty, it was that his brain was polluted. So, Shaoyuki watched the whole dance in a daze, watched the macho dancer shake his greasy hair and throw a wink to the camera, turned off his phone in a daze, covered himself with the quilt, and closed his eyes. Didn't I just say something bad to a few anchors? If it's wrong to do this, he can be put in jail instead of letting him watch this live broadcast room. Forget it, sleep. As long as I fall asleep, I can forget the terrible experience tonight. After a few hours, the room was completely quiet. Shaoyuki was covered with a quilt, without any sound, and looked like he was asleep. Huolala. Suddenly, the quilt was violently opened, and Shaoyuki stood up suddenly, with no sleepiness in his bloodshot eyes because, as soon as he closed his eyes, the scene of the live broadcast room could not help but appear in his mind. And the last wink. Can you get out of my mind? I'm not going to sleep anymore. Shaoyuki slapped the lights in the room and turned them on. I can't be the only one being tortured. I'm going to edit this video. Aren't there a lot of people online asking for all kinds of unspeakable links in the comment sections? Whenever I see such comments in the future, I'll send him the link to the video of this live broadcast. Shaoyuki turned on his computer and said with a sick smile, "What era is it? Are you still playing traditional online scams? Let me start a new scam trend." On the other side, the live broadcast venue. Yang Ruoqian was packing up his filming equipment at this time. The lights were dim, so Huang Rushi couldn't see the emotions on his face at this time. But Huang Rushi knew that his live broadcast data was very bleak. After the entire live broadcast, he didn't receive a penny in rewards and even saw very few viewers. It was a failure among failures. No matter how confident Huang Rushi was, he couldn't help but feel a little weak at this time. He wouldn't be fired directly, would he? "Boss, should I work overtime?" Huang Rushi thought about the job he had just gotten, and his heart trembled. He hurriedly went up to help. "The content of the live broadcast can be changed. As long as you say so, I will do it." "What overtime? What to change?" Yang Ruoqian looked at him strangely. "You broadcast very well today. Keep it up in the future. Don't change it, and don't work overtime. Our company least encourages employees to work overtime. Go back and have a rest. Don't worry about the data problem. It's normal for the first broadcast data to be poor, and the popularity will slowly increase in the future." Yang Ruoqian didn't show it on the surface, but he was actually very happy in his heart. It's normal for the data to be poor, and it's normal for no one to watch it. Change the content of the live broadcast? He designed a set of disgusting, live broadcast content from beginning to end, and the effect was initially seen. All the viewers who came to watch the live broadcast were disgusted and ran away. How can you change it just like that? Overtime? This kind of thing, even if you work overtime for 12 hours, no one will watch it. Popularity in the future? The male anchor in the dance area can have shitty popularity, and he won't be popular, even if he broadcasts for another 10 years. Yang Ruoqian is now only looking forward to this month passing quickly. As long as Huang Rushi can maintain his performance today, he will definitely be at the Pasabi level at the end of the month, and the 50 million bonus will be in his hands. Thinking of the 50 million bonus, Yang Ruoqian wanted to fast forward to a month later. But Yang Ruoqian's words did not bring much comfort to Huang Rushi. This unconditional trust from his boss made him feel respected, but also a little guilty. "But boss, I can't always bother you to take pictures. How about I find a photographer myself?" Thinking of the 50 million that was about to be in his hands, Yang Ruoqian liked Huang Rushi more and more, and said without hesitation, "No problem. When you find him, just ask him to come to the company to handle the entry procedures." Chapter 17. Very good. Keep it up. Huang Rushi's eyes widened, and he quickly waved his hands and shook his head. "How can this be possible? How can I ask the boss to pay for the people I hired myself? In our Kuiguang group, employees are not allowed to pay a penny for their work." "That's it," Yang Ruoqian said seriously. "Since you found the photographer yourself, you can take this set of filming equipment back with you." "What kind of a boss is this?" Huang Rushi was really moved. "Thank you, boss. I will work harder." "You must not work harder." But with such a crappy live broadcast content, working hard will only have a counterproductive effect, right? After muttering a few words in his heart, Yang Ruoqian wiped the sweat from his forehead, thinking about how to get home so late. Huang Rushi's small broken van suddenly came into view. Yang Ruoqian thought about the balance on his bank card and forced himself to hold back his shame. He said calmly, "Did you drive here? That's great. Give me a ride." Huang Rushi didn't expect his boss to make such a request. He was stunned for a moment. "No problem, boss, get in the car." As he said that, he put the camera equipment on the ground, started his van, and turned on the air conditioner. As for why the boss of such a big company didn't drive here, Huang Rushi didn't doubt it at all, because there are too many possible reasons. Maybe the car is broken and is being repaired, or it was borrowed by someone. Anyway, it must not be, because there is no car. Yang Ruoqian sat in the co-pilot seat, and the cool breeze blew in his face. finally dispelling the heat. It's just that I'm done with the work, so I'll pick up the car tomorrow. It's too unreasonable to always use online car hailing. In order to avoid being judged as deliberately delaying time by the system, Yang Ruoqian has been busy with the new anchor's affairs these days and has no time to use the reimbursement opportunity given by the system. Now that Huang Rush's work has been settled, he is just waiting to collect the money at the end of the month, which will free up some time. A minute later, Huang Rushi climbed into the driver's seat and asked, "Boss, where do you live?" Jayabund. Yang Ruoqian fastened his seatbelt and said, "High-end residential area." Being a big boss at a young age, living in a high-end residential area, driving a luxury car. This is a winner in life. Unlike himself, who is already an old man, but still lives in a shabby rental house with 4 people in a room, and drives a small van that has been used for who knows how many times. Huang Rushi felt a little envious, but when he thought about Yang Ruoqian coming so late and personally accompanying his anchor to live broadcast in the hot weather, he felt from the bottom of his heart that it was natural for such a person to succeed, and it was not surprising at all. Soon, the van drove to the gate of the residential area. "Boss, we are here. Take care." Yang Ruoqian opened the door and got out of the car. He nodded slightly and reiterated, "You should go back and have a rest too. Don't be too stressed about work. The broadcast is very good. Just keep it up in the future." After that, Yang Ruoqian swiped his card to enter the door, took the elevator, and rubbed his eyelids that had begun to droop unconsciously. After staying up until almost 3 in the morning, he was indeed a little sleepy. Ding. The sound of the elevator door opening came. Yang Ruoqian took out the key from his trouser pocket and left the elevator car. As soon as he walked out, he saw a woman in loose pajamas standing at the door of the next room, swiping her phone boredly. Yang Ruoqian walked over in surprise and asked, "Chang Ziking? Not sleeping yet? What are you doing outside?" Chang Ziking slowly put the phone in her pocket, looked up and said, "I watched the live broadcast tonight, and the data is not very good. Are you okay? So you are worried about this?" Yang Ruoqian almost laughed. "The worse the data, the better my mood. What's the big deal? The data has been rising slowly. How can there be so many overpass successes?" Yang Ruoqian knew that Chang Ziking was concerned about the company, so he smiled and said, "You don't have to worry too much about the company's affairs. Go to bed quickly." Chang Ziking asked worriedly, "Are you really okay? Don't force yourself." Chang Ziking would have left immediately after hearing this in the past, so why is she still nagging now? "Why are you so weird today?" Yang Ruoqian, who had known Chang Ziking for 2 lifetimes, immediately noticed something was wrong and asked suspiciously, "Are you having that?" "I'm having that. I'm having that. Do you want to listen to what you are saying?" Chang Ziking clenched her fists and took a deep breath. "I shouldn't have imagined that you could say anything good. Do you have any plans for tomorrow?" "Yes. Come with me to the 4S shop tomorrow and pick up a bus for the company." How much money is left in the company's account that you can spend so much?" Chang Ziking covered her forehead. "You're not really a rich second generation who came out to spend money, are you? With this money, wouldn't it be better to dig some profitable anchors? Buy a car? It will depreciate by 20% after you buy it back. Is this how you invest? Can you invest like this?" Listening to Chang Ziking's question, a similar doubt suddenly emerged in Yang Ruoqian's mind. The scale of Kuiguang Group will definitely get bigger and bigger in the future, and by then, cashiers and finance will definitely be indispensable. But the rewards issued by the system are all injected into the company's account out of thin air. What should I do? As soon as the doubts appeared, the cold voice of the system came into my mind. In the cognition of others, there will be no abnormalities in the company's finances. The host can recruit cashiers and finances normally, as long as there is no problem. Yang Ruoqian was relieved, opened the door of his house, and said casually, "It's late. Go to bed quickly. You still have to go to work tomorrow." Chang Ziking seized the opportunity and went directly into Yang Ruoqian's house through the crack of the door. "What are you doing?" Yang Ruoqian looked at the innocent looking girl and was stunned for a moment. "Aren't you going back to your room to sleep?" "I was in a hurry to leave and forgot to bring my key." Chang Ziking looked at Yang Ruoqian innocently and turned out her 2 pockets to prove that she was not talking nonsense. I don't want to wake up Nayan, so I decided to stay at your place tonight. Is that okay? Yang Ruoqian, who was so sleepy that he had no time to continue talking nonsense with Chang Ziking, dragged his heavy steps into his room and said casually, okay, just find a room for you to sleep. With a bang, the door of the master bedroom was closed. Chang Ziking looked at Yang Ruoqian's back, slowly took out her mobile phone, opened Gao Nayan's chat box, and typed word by word, Nayan, I forgot to take my key when I went out at night. I'm staying at the host's house tonight. Remember to open the door for me tomorrow morning. The next day, Yang Ruoqian, who had slept a lot, got up from the bed. Just after washing up, he heard a small knock on the door outside. Yang Ruoqian walked out of the bathroom and asked casually, what's wrong? Chang Ziking looked like she had just gotten up. Her clothes were a little messy, and half of her shoulders were exposed. It should be Nayan who came to help me open the door. She walked over first and opened the door. So, in Gao Nayan's view outside the door, Chang Ziking, who was disheveled, and Yang Ruoqian, who had just changed his clothes, were standing one after the other. Chapter 18. This person can be recruited by our company. Please collect and read. Gao Nayan was stunned for a moment, and her quiet and gentle smile froze instantly. Chang Ziking acted as if she didn't see anything. She dragged her slippers, yawned loudly, and said without turning her head, then I'll go back first. By the way, I suggest you change to a harder mattress, which is good for your waist. After that, she walked out of the room and closed the door. What nonsense is she talking about? Yang Ruoqian was at a loss, not knowing why Chang Ziking suddenly said such a thing. Forget it. People who just got up are not so clear-headed, so it's not strange for them to say nonsense. More than 20 minutes later, Yang Ruoqian simply finished his breakfast, opened the door, and saw Chang Ziking waiting at the door in a professional suit. Yang Ruoqian took a look at Chang Ziking's long legs wrapped in 15D black stockings, and said, what's the wind today? You're wearing so formal? Don't make a fuss. Chang Ziking said this, but there was no displeasure in her eyes. Which brand of car are you going to buy? Have you made an appointment? The official car for 15 years, and the reimbursement given by the system is not enough to buy a super luxury car, so the first choice is naturally Audi. Audi, just find the car in stock, no need to make an appointment. After checking the personal belongings, Yang Ruoqian said, you call an online taxi, we'll go now. Chang Ziking took out her mobile phone and muttered, what director? I feel that my current job is more like an assistant or secretary. The company is still in its early stages, and those who are capable should do more work. Yang Ruoqian gave Chang Ziking this position with the intention of letting her, an outsider, relax while causing trouble for the company, so he casually said, you are so capable, it doesn't hurt to do more. Chang Ziking, who was praised, had curved eyebrows, and reached out to press the elevator. Are you sure you don't want to hire a finance person to help with the accounting? Let's talk about it later. The company only has so many things now. I can take care of it by myself. At the door of the 4S store, Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziking were greeted by the salesperson as soon as they got off the car. You too, do you want to see the car? The sales lady of the 4S store had been waiting at the door for a long time. When she saw the two people pushing the door and entering, she greeted them with a smile. What style do you like? I'll introduce it to you. Her tone was full of courtesy. Although the clothes worn by the man in front of him are not high-end, he is not a big customer at all. Car sales like this kind of people the most. Most of the customers who have no money come to take a look and talk nonsense. Salespeople with low base salary and high commission generally don't like it. This can be said to be a consensus. However, among the customers who are really willing to buy a car, unless they are the big local tyrants who buy super luxury cars, salespeople hope that ordinary customers are not so rich. Because relatively wealthy customers will choose to pick up the car with full payment, which is convenient and affordable. Picking up the car with full payment may look arrogant, but the commission that goes into the salesperson's pocket may be very small. To put it in an exaggerated way, 4S stores do not even make profits from the meager profits from selling cars during the sales stage, but make money from the so-called financial service fees. That is, customers are asked to take out loans to buy cars, and 4S stores collect profits from banks and insurance companies. What 4S stores fear most is customers who pay in full for the cheapest configurations. They can neither receive financial service fees nor get back the high premium in-car configurations, so they can't make much money from selling them. Yang Ruoqian looks like someone who has money, but not a lot. He can afford a car, but can only buy it with a loan. This is the best customer. The salesperson was extremely enthusiastic. I'm salesperson number 3, Chen Duo. What are your surnames? Yang Ruoqian glanced at Chen Duo and said in a low voice, no need to ask for your surname, Yang. Seeing this attitude, Chen Duo became more certain of his guess and became more attentive. Shall I show you around? Yang Ruoqian glanced at the exhibition hall, pointed to an A8L, and nodded. Tell me about it. The first thing he saw was an A8. Not only the salesperson, but even Chang Ziking was shocked. With this money, why don't you hire a professional team, dig up a few big anchors, and run Gaonayan? What do you want to do with a broken car? What's the use? But the reaction of the salesperson Chen Duo was different. These two people are not here to talk nonsense, right? People who buy this car are either bosses who need low-key luxury for their own use, or they buy it for the company. As for the real rich second generation, generally speaking, they don't like the low-end A8. The man and woman in front of them have no identity, and they don't look like the people who buy this car. But after all, Chen Duo is a 10-year salesman, and her service attitude is still good. She opened the car door and introduced the configuration of this car in detail. Perhaps she thought Yang Ruoqian couldn't afford it, so she even gave a quote. All on behalf of me, 750,000. After listening to the sales introduction, Yang Ruoqian had roughly understood in his mind that this was a low-end version of the A8. Yang Ruoqian clicked on the system panel and asked if a car with this configuration could be reimbursed. It meets the reimbursement standards. In this case, let's test the bottom line of the system again. Yang Ruoqian closed the car door, pointed to an A8 not far away that looked more advanced, and asked, what about that one? Chen Duo's face finally became a little embarrassed, and she was more and more certain that the two people had no intention of spending money, not even a plan to buy a car. They just came to take a look. How old are they? How could they afford such a luxury car? If they were the second generation of the local tycoon, how could they only buy luxury cars of this level? 4S stores get commissions based on performance, and no one wants to waste precious time and miss out on truly valuable customers. At this time, another customer came to the door of the store. He was middle-aged, slightly bald, and wore a pair of black-framed glasses. Without thinking, Chen Duo directly called a girl who was helping at the front desk and condescendingly ordered, Ruoqian, come here and take these two guests for a walk. After that, she almost didn't turn her head back, ran to the door in small steps, and greeted the new guests attentively. Chang Ziking was stunned for a moment, and then she said angrily, what do you mean? You look down on people. You can't even ask about the car? The salesperson's attitude was quite good just now. Why did he suddenly change his mind? She thinks we can't afford it, so she's just talking nonsense. Yang Ruoqian shook his head slightly. Chang Ziking turned around and asked in surprise, what do you mean she thinks? Are you really going to spend nearly 1 million to buy a car? Will the company really not go bankrupt because of this? Girl, don't care too much about the life and death of the group. Can't you just be a good employee who is lazy and does nothing? On the other side, the trainee salesperson Ruoqian, who was ordered around, wiped her hands in a hurry and very considerately led Yang Ruoqian to introduce the higher-end car. Appropriate clothes, elegant posture, beautiful face, professional explanation. This Ruoqian said she was a trainee salesperson, but her level seemed to be better than Chen Duo, a 10-year veteran salesperson. However, Ruoqian had just introduced a few words when the cold and ruthless voice of the system appeared again. Does not meet the reimbursement standards. Will you die if you let me take advantage of you a little bit? Yang Ruoqian had no interest in the car that he couldn't buy. He waved his hand to interrupt Ruoqian, indicating that she didn't need to introduce it anymore. Ruoqian immediately stopped the introduction, with a smile on her face. "Mr. Yang, what else do you want to know about our model?" After a few words, Yang Ruoqian had a feeling this sales trainee has a very high level of professionalism. She speaks neatly and concisely, but it's not difficult for people to understand. She has a dignified image and decent manners. An ordinary business suit looks generous on her. But why do I feel that this girl is a little excluded in the store? PS. It's very rushed. Update first and then change. Chapter 19 finally got a car. As Yang Ruoqian was thinking, he walked towards the A8L. Ruoqian, who was following behind, felt a little strange. Didn't Sister Chen introduce this car just now? But she didn't think much about it. Maybe the customer felt that it was not detailed enough. So she followed and wanted to introduce it again, but Yang Ruoqian didn't ask much. He just opened the co-pilot, opened the hood, and began to check the parameters of the car. "Mr. Yang, is there anything else you want to know?" Ruoqian didn't understand, so she could only smile politely and asked in a low voice. After carefully checking the engine, headlights and other production dates, Yang Ruoqian confirmed that this car was not a stock car and said calmly, "Everything is done. The full payment price is 750,000, right?" "Yes." "Invoice." Ruoqian didn't react at once and was stunned for a long time. The decent expression on her face finally couldn't be maintained, and even her tone was a little trembling. "Yes, yes. Do you want to buy it?" Yang Ruoqian looked indifferent, as if he bought a few eggs at the market. "Yes." "Invoice." As soon as these words came out, Yang Ruoqian's image suddenly became majestic, and he looked like a successful person with a net worth of over 100 million. Okay, wait a moment." After the salesperson walked away, Chang Ziking sighed, "Boss, if you do this, our company will be under great pressure to make a profit." "No, you must not feel pressured or motivated. Just be at ease and let it go." Yang Ruoqian looked at Ruoqian's back and said, "Don't you think this sales intern is very suitable to be our receptionist? Whether in appearance, personality, or conversation, this salesperson perfectly meets Yang Ruoqian's requirements for the receptionist. Good guy, buying a car, and poaching other people's employees at the same time." Chang Ziking leaned against the car door, with a puzzled look in her eyes. "She is indeed suitable for the receptionist, but boss, is there a possibility that at this stage, it doesn't make much difference whether our company has a receptionist or not? That's because you don't understand. I have the task of expanding the company." The two chatted for a few words, and then saw the salesperson holding a bill in his hand and hurried over. However, this salesperson was not Ruoqian, but Chen Duo. Chen Duo walked over with a decent look on her face, as if nothing had happened just now. "Mr. Yang, I'm really sorry, I had something urgent just now, so my colleague did it for me. Do you want to buy the car in full? Would you like to consider our interest-free loan?" As expected of a salesperson, she could say such shameless words without changing her expression. Yang Ruoqian, who has lived to live, saw through this little trick at a glance and said coldly, "Where is salesman Lu? My colleague is busy with other work." Chen Duo looked at Yang Ruoqian's youth and wanted to continue to prevaricate. "I will take you two through the next process." Even a fool can see that Chen Duo intercepted the big order of her intern colleague. Is this 4S store so shady? Ruoqian's business ability is obviously better than Chen Duo's, but she doesn't have many opportunities to meet with customers. When she finally gets a customer, the order will be snatched away by the old employees in the store. If Yang Ruoqian didn't want to recruit Ruoqian as a receptionist, he would have turned around and left this 4S store. Sell it if you want. If you don't sell it, there are plenty of people who will sell it. Yang Ruoqian impatiently stopped the car and said bluntly, "Salesman Chen, I have given you face. You should be more sensible and don't treat others as fools. Do you understand? Call salesman Lu over here. Don't let me repeat it again." Chen Duo's face instantly changed from green to red, but she didn't dare to get angry at all. In the end, she had to take a deep breath and force a smile. "Okay, Mr. Yang, wait a moment, I'll call my colleague. The income from selling cars is a small matter, and after sales repair and maintenance are the big money. As a salesperson, she can't afford to offend such a customer. If she offended the customer and caused such a big customer to stop coming to their store to buy after sales services in the future, she would probably be scolded to death by her boss. The full payment is $750,000. How terrible is the cash flow of this young man? After a while, Ruoqian came over with various bills in her hands. Her eyes were slightly red, and it was obvious that she had just cried. It seems that she was forcibly snatched away from her orders by other colleagues more than once or twice. But her voice was still steady, without even a tremor. "Mr. Yang, can you take a look at the contract? Is there any problem?" "Chang Ziking, help me take a look." Chang Ziking stepped forward, flipped through the contract pages, scanned them carefully, and nodded. "No problem. Go transfer the money." Yang Ruoqian didn't say a word. Very straightforward. "Please follow me." Ruoqian made a please gesture, and then took the two to her office. After entering the office, Chang Ziking went through the final formalities, and suddenly heard her boss casually asked, "Salesman Lu, how much salary do you get in this store?" Ruoqian did not hide it, and smiled and said, "The basic salary is 1,500, and the commission for selling a low-end model is about 100 to 300 yuan, and the high-end model is 500 to 1,000. If it is an overdue inventory car, it can be about 3,000. It sounds like a lot. But what is the actual situation? How much can you actually get in a month?" Yang Ruoqian asked again. Ruoqian said a little embarrassedly, "This is the first order I received." "The first order?" Yang Ruoqian was a little surprised. This month, with her demonstrated business level, it shouldn't be so bad. Since joining, Ruoqian was even more embarrassed. In other words, Ruoqian has always been paid 1,500 yuan a month. With this treatment, don't blame the employees for not being able to stay. Yang Ruoqian, who was already quite satisfied with Ruoqian, asked directly, "Are you interested in working as a receptionist in our company? I will give you a monthly salary of 5,000, an 8-hour work system, and no overtime. There is also room for promotion to the top of the human resources department in the future." Ruoqian didn't expect Yang Ruoqian to recruit her directly, and she stayed where she was. In fact, after being excluded for so long, Ruoqian has also been thinking about changing jobs recently, but she never thought that she could get a monthly salary of 5,000. He is indeed a big boss who can buy luxury cars. His company must be large in scale, and his development prospects must be longer term than being a sales consultant in a 4S store. 5,000 a month, and there will be a chance to be promoted to a senior position in the human resources department in the future. This pie is so high quality that it is many times higher than that of a 4S store. Ruoqian felt her heart pounding, and she wanted to agree on the spot. "Call me when you make a decision." Seeing Ruoqian's reaction, Yang Ruoqian knew that the matter was almost successful, and handed his business card to Ruoqian. The company address is also on it. Okay. Oh, by the way, congratulations on becoming a distinguished Audi owner. May the 4-ring star shine on your career and future, and may the beauty of the world be linked to you from now on. Overwhelmed by all kinds of information, Ruoqian almost forgot the most important sentence before picking up the car. At this time, the last few things, including the temporary license plate, were also handled. Yang Ruoqian looked at the new car, just like buying a long-awaited toy, and his heart was itching, and he wanted to drive it on the road for 2 laps immediately. "Chang Ziking, get in the car," Yang Ruoqian said in high spirits. "Brother will take you for a ride." Chapter 20. Things are starting to go wrong. On the road, a brand new black luxury car attracted many envious eyes. Chang Ziking, who was sitting in the passenger seat, looked at her boss who was still not satisfied, and couldn't help but persuade him, "Is this broken iron lump so rare? Don't be distracted by it. There are several people coming for interviews today." With the high salary offered by Yang Ruoqian, suitable candidates were quickly found for positions such as cleaning and security. The interview was just the last step to confirm. "Hey, you girls don't understand men's romance." Yang Ruoqian said so, but his actions were still honest. He quickly drove the car to the parking lot of Shengjing Haoyuan. The parking lot could not automatically recognize the temporary license plate. Yang Ruoqian manually took out the parking card, found a parking space that was not easy to be scratched, parked carefully, and got out of the car reluctantly. Chang Ziking finally couldn't bear it anymore, grabbed Yang Ruoqian, and dragged him towards the elevator. "Let's go. This car is fun. Don't miss it." Ding. In the tug, the elevator finally reached the underground floor. The two took the elevator and just returned to the company. They found a middle-aged man with unshaven beard and sparse grey hair standing at the door. It should be the old man who came to apply for the security guard position. Yang Ruoqian walked up and gently patted the old man's shoulder, fearing that the old man would lie down directly. "Hello, are you here to apply for a job? Come to my office first." "Oh, okay." The old man's voice was low, carrying a briefcase, and followed Yang Ruoqian. The two walked into the office one after the other. Yang Ruoqian sat down and casually said, "Show me your identity certificate. If there is no problem, you can go to apply for employment." Upon hearing this, the old man immediately took out his ID card and resume from his bag and placed them on Yang Ruoqian's desk. "My goodness, this resume is not thin. It's just a security guard. Do you have to be so thick?" Yang Ruoqian's eyes twitched slightly when he saw it, and he felt that this old man was very dedicated. Since he wants to give it, just take a symbolic look. After all, he is an old man. Well, the name is Zhu Kifeng, no problem. Gender is male, no problem either. Date of birth 1990, not even. Wait, date of birth 1990? 1990? Exclamation mark. Doesn't that mean Zhu Kifeng is only 25 years old now? Exclamation mark. This old man looks like a man with 2 grandchildren, and you tell me he's only 25. You're 25. Yang Ruoqian was shocked, and he took out Zhu Kifeng's resume and read it carefully. What on earth did a person go through to become like this? After flipping through 2 pages of the resume, Yang Ruoqian suddenly realized, oh, so he was a programmer before. That's fine. Yes, I'm 25. Zhu Kifeng replied weakly. Obviously he had been doubted about his age countless times, and had long been accustomed to it. Yang Ruoqian continued to flip through his resume and asked curiously, "Well, I saw your previous resume. You were a front-end engineer at SYNOPSIS Media. The monthly salary was 15,000, and the treatment was not bad. Why did you come to work as a security guard here?" SYNOPSIS Media is not like Yang Ruoqian's small company. It is a real entertainment giant, and was successfully listed 3 years ago. Being able to work in such a large company, and getting a high salary of 15,000, the prospects should be very good, but Zhu Kifeng took the initiative to resign, and came to work as a security guard in their unknown small company. Zhu Kifeng pointed to his sparse hair and smiled bitterly, because the leaders always ask me to stay up late and work overtime to make colorful black. If I continue to do this, I'm afraid that I will die suddenly one day. This reason is quite sufficient. With your work experience, you can find another job even if you resign, right? Yang Ruoqian handed the resume and ID card back to Zhu Kifeng and asked again. It's tiring, and if a programmer works for 10 years and still can't get to the management level, the end result is that he will be replaced by younger, more energetic and lower paid young people. Zhu Kifeng sighed. By then, won't I still have to be a security guard? It's better to avoid 10 years of detours and become a security guard directly. Isn't it nice to work as a security guard in an air-conditioned room and get 4,000 yuan a month? What you said makes sense, and I don't know how to refute it. Yang Ruoqian was convinced. Okay, you can start today. Working hours are from 9 AM to 5 PM, and weekends are off. After Zhu Kifeng, the cleaning lady, the night security guard, the front desk lady, Huang Rush's photographer rumored and other applicants also came for interviews. Soon, the company's number of people reached 10, completing the first phase of the system's expansion task. Company expansion task. If an enterprise wants to run healthily, it cannot do without capable employees. The host's company has expanded to 10 people. The task is completed. The monthly quota issued by the system will be upgraded from 200,000 per month to 500,000 per month, effective this month. The next stage of expansion tasks has not yet been unlocked. Please continue to work hard to train artists to unlock the subsequent company expansion tasks. The company's available quota has become 500,000 per month. Unfortunately, this money cannot be used to repay the loan. Public travel, public food and drink, etc. should be possible, but there will definitely be many restrictions on the amount and frequency, and it must be used in the name of team building. But no matter what, the company's sufficient funds mean that it can give employees more benefits, increase the basic salary of anchors, and use money to disintegrate their motivation to work hard and corrode the employees' progressive minds. Huang Rush's live broadcast must be foolproof, and no one will watch it. Yang Ruoqian glanced at the time and was happier than ever. The car was picked up, the company was expanded, the system was upgraded, and there were 18 line anchors. After Gaonayan's Oolong storm, everything returned to normal and everything began to move in the right direction. Happy. There are still a few minutes before the end of get off work, so let's take a look at the fan data of Gaonayan and Huang Rushi. After all, it is related to his own money-making business. How can he not pay attention? Gaonayan, anchor, real number of fans. 213,246. Rank, obscure, bonus 50,000. The popularity of the beautiful girl is still there, but Gaonayan has not made any big explosions in the past few days, so the speed of fan growth has slowed down. However, her unique live broadcast style and sweet looks have allowed her to maintain her fan base. It's okay, although the bonus of 50,000 is not much, it's enough to fill the gap. Yang Ruoqian turned off Gaonayan's data panel and opened Huang Rush's data panel with great anticipation. This is the big part of the profit in the future. If nothing unexpected happens, this person will bring him a full 50 million in income in a month. Huang Rushi, anchor, real number of fans. 641,921. Rank, small, bonus 5,000. Haha. Sure enough, 5,000. 5,000. 5,000. Yang Ruoqian rubbed his eyes. What about 10,000? Where's my 50 million? What the hell? 640,000 real fans? Did the system make a mistake? Check it again carefully. Wasn't there no one watching the live broadcast last night? Why are there already 640,000 fans this afternoon? 600,000 fans in one day. This is impossible, right? The system has updated the real-time data. The host's anchor Huang Rushi currently has 643,458 real fans. Rank, small, bonus 5,000. One refresh and 1,000 more fans. Yang Ruoqian was struck by lightning and stood there in a daze. His worldview was shattered by this sudden blow. No, do people on Earth now even watch such a hellish live broadcast? There are so many beautiful young ladies in the dance area, so many enchanting dances, and what kind of mentality is it to watch a middle-aged greasy Huang Rushi? Bang! The door of the office was suddenly opened. Boss. Chang Ziking rushed into the office quickly, looking at her phone in an unbelievable manner. She was excited and thrilled, with deep admiration in her peach blossom eyes, and stared straight at Yang Ruoqian. Boss, I have to admit that your vision and planning ability are really amazing. Huang Rushi is very popular on all platforms. We made a lot of money. Looking at Chang Ziking's red face with excitement, Yang Ruoqian felt like he had no desire to live. Made a lot of money? You won't believe it, but I lost a total of 49,995,000 yuan in this wave. It's a loss. Chapter 21. You really deserve to die. Please collect. Yang Ruoqian stood in front of the window of the office, blowing against the air outlet of the air conditioner, wanting to cry but not crying. At this moment, he had only one question in his mind. Why? Why can it become popular? This is no longer a question of science or not, but a matter of metaphysics or not. The content of the entire live broadcast was under the control of Yang Ruoqian. From a small action to a big shooting scene, he tried his best to disgust the audience. But why are there still so many viewers willing to be disgusted? Yang Ruoqian was blown by the air conditioner for a while, and finally calmed down a little. He took out his mobile phone, opened Baidu and searched for why can the anchor become popular, trying to find the answer on the internet. As a result, at a glance, all of them were Daoyan's 9.9 yuan live broadcast courses. I used to believe in science, but now I believe in 9.9 yuan courses. Yang Ruoqian took a deep breath. reluctantly took out nearly 10 yuan from his already small balance and bought a copy of Huang Rush's same live broadcast teaching material. After reading it, Yang Ruoqian drove the teaching material out of his mobile phone expressionlessly. Just treat it as feeding the dog. Can these course sellers stop selling electronic toilet paper on the internet? Yang Ruoqian, it's time to get off work, go back and celebrate. Chang Ziqing looked at the handsome man in front of her who was thinking with his head down, and her admiration and respect were endless. What does it mean to be neither arrogant when you win, nor discouraged when you lose? Yesterday, I saw the bleak live broadcast data, but I was not panicked or impatient. Now that I see my anchor is very popular, I'm not arrogant or impatient. When Yang Ruoqian heard Chang Ziqing's words, he almost vomited blood. Celebrate? Celebrate that you are busy running around, staying up late in the hot summer to feed mosquitoes, and in return you get a bonus of 5,000 yuan? And if Huang Rush's number of fans continues to increase at this rate, it won't be long before he can't even keep the bonus of 5,000. Such good data, why didn't Huang Rush tell me? Yang Ruoqian forced a smile and continued Chang Ziqing's words. Chang Ziqing greeted Gao Naian who was waiting at the door, then turned to Yang Ruoqian and said, you arranged the night shift for others, so you must still be sleeping now. You are so happy that you are confused, right? Yes, I was so angry. Yang Ruoqian couldn't explain anything to Chang Ziqing. Among the long list of illegal operations in the system, there was one that revealed the existence of the system. At the same time, it is also forbidden to use any malicious means to make the anchor artist lose fans, including but not limited to making inappropriate remarks or doing anything illegal or criminal. Therefore, Yang Ruoqian can only blame himself for not learning the skills well enough. Go home, go home. The three people who lived together went downstairs together. Yang Ruoqian got in the driver's seat, Chang Ziqing was in the co-pilot seat, and Gao Naian was arranged in the back seat. Does it feel like Naian has been a little silent these 2 days? Yang Ruoqian started to light the car and asked casually, if you have any problems at work, tell me anytime, don't hide it yourself. Gao Naian shuddered and shook her head hurriedly. No, boss, it's not a work problem. Yang Ruoqian still remembered that Gao Naian had said that she had a sick mother in the hospital, so he glanced at the rearview mirror and said, is it a problem in life? Is the medical expenses not enough? If not, tell me, and you can advance your salary at any time. Anyway, the company has enough money, so it's a waste not to spend it. Chang Ziqing turned her head in surprise. Your mother is sick. Why didn't you tell me? You only told the boss, right? She suddenly realized that this roommate was a little bit forgetful for the sake of beauty. No, Sister Chang, I don't want you to worry about me. Gao Naian flicked the red pendant on her forehead, and her tone began to become flustered as always. I have enough money. I'm fine, boss, don't worry. Since she said so herself, it was probably a private matter, and Yang Ruoqian didn't ask any more questions. As soon as the car drove out of the underground parking lot, the screen of Yang Ruoqian's mobile phone in the storage compartment suddenly lit up, showing a new WeChat message. Chang Ziqing put down her crossed legs, gently picked up Yang Ruoqian's mobile phone with her fingers, and asked, there is a new message, can I help you check it? Let me see. Although Yang Ruoqian was a little surprised why Chang Ziqing suddenly cared so much about his mobile phone, he was reversing into the garage at this time, and needed to concentrate, so he didn't care too much. Give me your hand. Chang Ziqing grabbed Yang Ruoqian's left hand, pressed his index finger on the fingerprint reader, and unlocked the screen. Looking at the interaction between the two without any sense of unfamiliarity, Gao Naian in the backseat lowered his head again. Chang Ziqing clicked on WeChat and said along, oh, it's your college classmates group. Shaoyuki said he would invite everyone to dinner and party. Although Yang Ruoqian and Chang Ziqing were from the same school, they were in different departments after all, so they were not in the same classmates group. Yang Ruoqian recalled that it seemed that there was such a thing in his previous life, but at that time, he was too busy and didn't go to this class reunion. After parking the car, Yang Ruoqian took back his phone and walked towards the elevator while looking at the increasingly active group of classmates. Shaoyuki, it feels like you haven't gotten together for a long time. Let's have a meal together next week. I'll treat you. Gujawen, Erich second generation speaks arrogantly. Shaoyuki, everyone click on the link to get a group purchase coupon. Link within a minute after this message. No one replied. After a long while, a new message popped up on the screen. Gujawen, I got the coupon. The discount is very large. Everyone, hurry up and get it. Yulanan, this coupon is very nice. Thank you, Mr. Shao. Woozes Heng, don't say it, don't say it. What the hell is going on? At this time, Yang Ruoqian, who left the elevator and opened the door to enter the room, was confused. He didn't know why his classmates were getting coupons for no reason. Driven by curiosity, he also clicked on the coupon link. The mobile page jumped immediately, and the software that was automatically opened was not Renrendianping, but a short video on Bilibili that was more than 1 minute long and had 1 million views. Before Yang Ruoqian could react, he saw various comments occupying the entire screen floating by, and the content of these comments was the same few sentences. Congratulations, you've been fooled. Welcome back. Total loss of quality. Congratulations, you've been fooled again. Then, Yang Ruoqian heard the brisk prelude of the song New Treasure Island. In the center of the video, a dark-skinned man with a greasy body, firm eyes, and a sagging belly danced to the song. Although it was blurry, it was still very visually impactful. But even if the video was blurry, Yang Ruoqian would recognize the man's appearance, because he shot this video himself. The person dancing was Huang Rushi. After watching the entire video in a daze, and reading the comments that swarmed by, Yang Ruoqian figured out the ins and outs of Huang Rushi's sudden popularity. Damn, someone must have been so disgusted by Huang Rushi's dancing that he couldn't sleep at night, so he thought of a trick, based on the principle of harming others without benefiting himself, packaging this video link into various other links, and spreading it everywhere on the internet. Those who were scammed were unwilling to be the only ones deceived, so they used these links to deceive others, resulting in the chain spread of the entire video on the internet. The person who made this video really deserves to die. You really deserve to die. For the sake of a moment of pleasure, you made me lose nearly 100 million. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 22 Anti-fraud action is urgent. Furious, Yang Ruoqian closed Station B and switched back to WeChat. At this time, the classmates were already chatting enthusiastically, and the content was basically about the coupon link. Who doesn't want to eat free food? So almost everyone in the group fell for Shaoyuki's trick. Yang Ruoqian couldn't stand Shaoyuki's smug look, so he scolded him and then asked, who made this video? It's too unethical, isn't it? The two were roommates in college and had a good relationship, so they were naturally not so polite when talking. Shaoyuki immediately counterattacked. I did it. How is it unethical? I voted for a repost. That anchor was attracted a lot of traffic by me, and I gained happiness. This is a win-win situation. Win-win situation. Understand? Good guy. It turns out that the biggest stumbling block in my career is my college classmate. It's a win-win situation. You and Huang Rushi won. What about me? I lost so much money that I didn't even have any bitterty left. Yang Ruoqian wanted to grab Shaoyuki from the screen and beat him up. The other students who were cheated also jokingly condemned Shaoyuki, but their main concern was the class reunion. Gujawen, so is your dinner invitation true or false? Shaoyuki, it can't be false. Next Saturday, I'll invite you to the most upscale Riverview restaurant in Jinhae City for a meal. Very good. Next Saturday I'll kill your offline order. Yang Ruoqian muttered, swiped away from the group chat, and saw that Chang Ziking also sent a message. Are you going to the class reunion? Of course he had to go. He had to go to this class reunion. He had to teach Shaoyuki a lesson and let him know what physical anti-fraud is. Go, what's wrong? Chang Ziking immediately replied, I'll go too. They didn't invite you. Is it really okay to go for a free meal? Chang Ziking quickly replied, I'll bring my own money. They know me. Why can't I go? That's right. During college, Chang Ziking often came to see Yang Ruoqian, and after a few visits, they became familiar with each other. Okay, we'll go together then. Yang Ruoqian had just sent this message when an unfamiliar mobile phone number suddenly called in and forcibly occupied the WeChat chat box. Who is it? Calling at 5:30 in the afternoon, when get off work is over? Could it be someone selling insurance? Can these damn 4S stores stop leaking user information at will? After thinking about it, Yang Ruoqian still pressed the answer button and asked unceremoniously, hello, who is it? If the other party started selling insurance, he would definitely hang up the phone directly. Who would have thought that the voice on the other end of the phone was also not very polite? Only a capable female voice came. Is this Mr. Yang from the Kuiguang Guild? I'm Yuzaoran, the operation manager of Shayanayu Media. I would like to take a few minutes of your time. Is that okay? Guild? Shayanayu Media? Yang Ruoqian applied to join the Shark platform and set up a guild a few days ago, but until today, it has not been approved. Shayanayu Media is the entertainment company where security guard ZHU Kifan worked before. What do they want to talk to him about? Could it be for the security guard ZHU Kifan? Yang Ruoqian thought about it and said tentatively, I'm Yang Ruoqian from Kuiguang Group, but our company seems to have not been able to enter the Shark platform yet. The review has been passed, and they will notify you tomorrow. Yuzaoran said casually, I called you to discuss with you the transfer of Miss Gao, the anchor of your guild. Good guy. It turned out to be a show of force. No, it can't be said to be a show of force. Yuzaoran said the strong strength of Shayanayu Media in a few words, and also gave Yang Ruoqian a piece of information. It can only be said that it is worthy of being the management of a large company, and the level is high. At least it is higher than the crouching dragons and phoenixes that gather in groups in his own company. Of course, despite their skills, Yang Ruoqian still didn't want to let Gao Nayan go, so he prevaricated, you have to ask Gao Nayan about this matter. Just kicking the ball. Yuzaoran waited for Yang Ruoqian to finish speaking before saying lightly, just now, we have called Ms. Gao Nayan, and she asked us to come to you. This. Yuzaoran had long expected that the other company would shirk responsibility. After all, it was a small guild. It was not easy for them to have a broadcaster who could make money. How could they let him go so easily? If the broadcaster wants to transfer to another guild, both the broadcaster and the guild he is in must agree. Unless the broadcaster directly gives up the existing live broadcast account and opens a new one, or stops broadcasting for half a year, and automatically terminates the contract with the guild, as long as one party disagrees, the broadcaster cannot change the guild. If you want to force a unilateral change, you need to pay a sky-high liquidated damages according to the contract, or the so-called transfer fee. It is also this liquidated damages that have pitted many broadcasters. In Yuzaoran's opinion, in order to retain Yunne, the Kuiguang Guild must have offered a very high salary and set a very high penalty for breach of contract. And in order to monopolize the resources of the entire guild, Yunne will also choose to stay in the Kuiguang Guild. But as a listed company, Shayanayu can easily squeeze out a little resource from its fingertips, which is enough to crush a small guild like Kuiguang. So the anchor side is easy to deal with. The biggest problem now is how to deal with Yang Ruoqian who called me. The answer is simple, money. Yuzaoran got straight to the point. How much is the penalty for breach of contract in your company's contract with Yunne? If it is within 1.5 million yuan, Shayanayu Media can pay it in full. What a pity. This money must go to the public account, and under the strong intervention of the system, Yang Ruoqian himself can't get a penny. Moreover, Yang Ruoqian has always respected artists, and will not make unilateral decisions on such matters. If Gao Nayan wants to find another job, he will not stop her, but if she wants to stay, Yang Ruoqian will never sell her out. Yang Ruoqian sighed, Ms. Yu, thank you for your suggestion, but I still suggest that you come to me after you have reached an agreement with Gao Nayan. If you can't agree on the price, just say it directly, why beat around the bush? Yuzaoran was already working overtime, and there was still a lot of work to do, so she felt a little unhappy. 1.5 million is naturally not the bottom line of Shianayu Guild, but you can't just hang up the phone just because the price is not to your liking, right? Why don't you give me a number? But Yuzaoran herself is very optimistic about the subsequent profitability of Yunne, and she dare not despise Yang Ruoqian who can discover such an anchor. Finally, she patiently continued, Mr. Yang, you didn't understand what I meant. I mean. Yang Ruoqian sighed and interrupted Yuzaoran, Miss Yu, I know exactly what you are talking about. It's you who didn't understand what I'm talking about. Ah. Yuzaoran, who is called a strong woman by many people, was finally at a loss this time. There is no penalty clause in the contract between Gaonayan and the company. Yang Ruoqian laughed. Also, let me remind you that our company works from 9 to 5. In the future, please try not to call my employees about work after work. I wish you a happy life. Bye. Chapter 23. What a weird endorsement advertisement. After hanging up the phone, Yang Ruoqian was about to order takeout when he saw several messages from Huang Rushi on WeChat. The first message was a flood of praise. Boss, your vision is so sharp. So awesome. When he woke up, his videos had millions of views and his account had hundreds of thousands of followers. How crazy. What a miracle. How many anchors and artists have struggled at the bottom for so long before they can slowly accumulate a certain amount of popularity, but under the wise leadership of General Manager Yang, this time can be shortened to one day. If it was just Gaonayan, it could be said that Yang Ruoqian was lucky, but this is the second time in a row. Both of them caused a storm on the entire network because of a live broadcast. When General Manager Yang recruited himself, the absolute confidence in his eyes that only belonged to the strong could not be faked. Boss Yang, thank you very much for your training. We can redraft the contract and stipulate the penalty for breach of contract. Don't worry, I will never change jobs. Huang Rushi was still vividly aware of the sarcasm from other companies and other guilds. Huang Rushi was not a person who would forget his principles for the sake of profit. Even if these guilds changed their minds and offered him a better contract, he would never leave Kuiguang Group. Yang Ruoqian almost felt dizzy as he watched the excited Huang Rushi send one congratulatory message after another. If you don't know how to compliment others, you can just keep silent. What a sharp eye. I just misjudged you. After a 3-second silence for his next month's income, Yang Ruoqian replied, congratulations. There's no need to worry about the contract. I believe in you. If Huang Rushi continues to develop at this rate, his fans will probably soon rise to the level of a big star with 1 million fans, and by then he won't even be able to keep his 5,000 bonus. With an income of 500 per month, he still wants a penalty for breach of contract? Don't even think about it. Although the increase in fans can bring various benefits and the company's revenue is not a problem, Yang Ruoqian is not an Iron Man. He also needs to eat. 500 a month is not enough to make him starve. Not long ago, he still disliked Gaonayan's income of 50,000 yuan as too meager, but he didn't expect that today he can only rely on this 50,000 yuan to survive. Just when Yang Ruoqian was angry and wanted to turn off his phone, Huang Rushi sent another message. Boss, someone just called me and said that they wanted me to endorse their products and run an advertisement. I didn't agree directly. How about you make the decision? Advertisement? A business came to the door so soon. Yang Ruoqian was refreshed after hearing this. This is a good thing. It is a taboo among taboos for the anchor to eat soon after becoming popular. It is very easy to arouse the disgust of the audience and make people feel that the appearance of eating is ugly. Even the progress of increasing fans may be cut in half. It can bring advertising revenue to the company and curb the rising trend of fans. This wave kills two birds with one stone. Yang Ruoqian suppressed his ecstasy and typed, what do you think? Agree. Agree quickly. Thinking of Yang Ruoqian's kindness, Huang Rushi felt that he had an obligation to bring some revenue to the company, and without hesitation, boss, I can take this advertisement, no problem. Yang Ruoqian was finally relieved and asked again, which business's advertisement is it? Mixubing Cheng, the advertisement of the milk tea shop. Mixubing Cheng? Is it the milk tea shop that uses a big-headed inferior snowman and a brainwashing theme song as its brand image and focuses on cheap milk tea? Why would a milk tea shop think of asking Huang Rushi to endorse an advertisement? Would anyone really accept this kind of advertisement? This kind of advertisement is very weird, no matter how you think about it, right? Yang Ruoqian didn't understand the logic, but it didn't stop him from taking the business order. This milk tea shop has a good reputation. If you don't object, you can agree. Do you want to do the contract yourself, or does the company help you connect? I can do it myself, boss. It's okay. Well, it's the first time to accept an advertising endorsement contract. After swiping away the chat box, Yang Ruoqian realized that even if the company came to contact him, there was no way to take the initiative to draft the content of the endorsement advertising contract. Because the security brigade of Kuiguang Group is not short of people, but the legal department is not. We have to recruit another reliable legal advisor. Generally speaking, positions recruited online are not too important, and most good human resources are swept away during campus recruitment. So this time Yang Ruoqian did not plan to post recruitment information online, but planned to take advantage of the college classmates reunion to see if anyone can introduce some channels. In addition to the legal advisor, Kuiguang Group has to continue looking for the next anchor. Although the system stipulates that only one anchor can be recruited per month at this stage, it does not prevent Yang Ruoqian from selecting the anchor in advance and recruiting him as soon as the next month arrives. After experiencing 2 painful successes, Yang Ruoqian has a deeper understanding of how to fail, breaking the old ideological barriers, realizing the precise slicing of market audience needs, attributing the current trends, and iterating and upgrading his own playing style. In simple terms, Yang Ruoqian realized that if he wanted to disgust the audience, it was far from enough to just rely on the live broadcast content to attack the audience from physical to mental aspects. The scope of the attack was wide, but it was not deep enough, not thorough enough, and not soul-touching enough. The connection between the audience and the anchor was not direct, but separated by a layer of live broadcast content. Even if the audience was disgusted by the live broadcast content, they would not subconsciously think that the anchor was deliberately disgusting them. Under the influence of this idea, the proportion of funny in the audience's mind would exceed disgusting, resulting in them not hating the anchor himself, but spreading the dance replay as a joke. After figuring out this key factor, Yang Ruoqian's pattern suddenly opened up. His previous ideas were too backward and too pedantic. He always wanted to present bad live broadcast content to dissuade the audience. It was really a bit superfluous. There was no need to go through so much trouble. Next time, I will find an anchor who curses at the audience, skip the middleman, and disgust the audience directly. Such an anchor who scolds his parents will never get up, right? Dig up the malice directly and stuff it in the faces of all the viewers, making them realize that watching the live broadcast is equivalent to paying to be scolded. No one will watch the live broadcast anymore, right? Admittedly, there are some people in this world who have unspeakable inner feelings and like this, but these people are a minority after all, and cannot support too much traffic. Such anchors are not easy to find, but once they are found, it is a sure thing that they will get 50 million. As the saying goes, failure is the mother of success. Now Yang Ruoqian has succeeded twice, and he has 2 children. Now it's the 3rd time. If he can't find the mother of the child again, it would be a bit too much. Yang Ruoqian lay on the bed and said to himself viciously, I don't believe that I can't fail this time. Chapter 24 Your company is outrageous. The next day, Friday, in the afternoon, around 3:30, downstairs of Shengjing Haoyan, Yu Zhaoran, who looked about 30 years old and dressed in uniform, got off the online taxi and walked straight to the front desk. Seeing Yu Zhaoran dressed up, the front desk asked, Hello, ma'am. Do you have an appointment? 24th floor, Kuiguang Entertainment Media. Yu Zhaoran simply registered at the front desk, walked quickly to the elevator, and pressed the button. Yesterday afternoon, after Yang Ruoqian hung up the phone rudely, Yu Zhaoran was annoyed for a moment. A transfer fee of 1.5 million. Yang Ruoqian still thinks it's not enough. Aren't you afraid of eating too much, and eating too much at one bite? The beautiful anchor with 200,000 or 300,000 fans does have very good profitability, but it shouldn't be so high priced. As for what Yang Ruoqian said, no liquidated damages, no overtime and other nonsense, Yu Zioran just regarded it as nonsense. Even China Media doesn't dare to have the confidence to retain its anchors 100%, and employees work overtime for performance. How can a small Kuiguang group be stronger? The performance pressure on employees of small companies and small guilds will only be greater. It's just a yun-nay, so don't dig it. As a middle-level manager of a listed company, Yu Zioran still has a certain self-esteem. But this morning, when she heard that another anchor macho dancer under the Kuiguang group had swept all major social platforms overnight and became popular all over the internet, she immediately chose to put down her dignity and planned to go to the company location of the Kuiguang group in person to have a face-to-face interview with Yang Ruoqian. This company is not simple. Yu Zioran used the Sky Eye to check the information of the Kuiguang group and found that the company had only been established for less than a month, and two anchors, Yun-Nay and Macho Dancer, appeared in succession. Is it a coincidence? Absolutely impossible. What does this mean? It means that the Kuiguang group should have been split from a large company, and the members inside are absolutely senior professionals and experts in the industry. Otherwise, the company would not be built in a high-end office building like Shengjing Haoyuan. Perhaps my attitude yesterday was not humble enough. Professionals in an industry all have their own pride. It is too rude to call to discuss cooperation, and it is no wonder that others are unwilling to continue. Ding. Thinking about it, the elevator has arrived at the 24th floor. Yu Zioran tidied her appearance and walked to the company's front desk with perfect steps. Hello, I'm Yu Zioran from Kuiguang Entertainment. I have an appointment with General Manager Yang for this afternoon. After Yu Zioran took a look at the receptionist, she glanced at the company's office environment with her peripheral vision, and she was inevitably shocked. This receptionist is well behaved and very dedicated. This security guard looks a little familiar. But the most important thing is the working environment. Are you serious? Which company has designated half of the place as an entertainment venue? Is this a workplace or an amusement park? Exclamation mark. Who would have the mind to work hard in such a place? Is your company a little too obsessed with playthings? If it weren't for Yu Zioran's professionalism, she would have been unable to control the expression on her face. Ruoqian, the former 4S store salesperson who joined the company yesterday, took out the registration form with a smile and said in a gentle tone, "Ms. Yu, please sign here and leave your contact information." Yu Zioran put away the shock in her heart, took a deep breath, and after signing her name, she heard Ruoqian's voice again. "Go straight ahead, turn right at the innermost part, and you will find Mr. Yang's office." "Thank you." Yu Zioran nodded slightly and walked to the door of Yang Ruoqian's office. On the way, she also saw Huang Rushi playing Just Dance on the Switch in the entertainment room. That scene was as irritating as it could be. Is this the macho dancer? Does Kuiguang Company really allow employees to play games during working hours? Exclamation mark. Although Huang Rushi is dancing now and looks like he is preparing for the live broadcast, there is no one watching him nearby and there are no cameras. He can play Just Dance today and The Legend of Zelda tomorrow. Is it really okay to indulge employees like this? Yu Zioran, whose values were somewhat shaken, took a few seconds to calm down before knocking on the door of Yang Ruoqian's office. Knock, knock, knock. "Ms. Yu Zioran, is that you? Come in." Yang Ruoqian's steady voice came from inside. To be honest, Yang Ruoqian was a little speechless about this persistent friendly employee. He had said that his own anchors did not have such things as liquidated damages and transfer fees, so why didn't this person believe it? "Mr. Yang, I was a little rushed yesterday afternoon, I'm very sorry." Yu Zioran stood in front of Yang Ruoqian's desk with a very good attitude, "But I really want to negotiate this cooperation with you." Yang Ruoqian almost covered his forehead. "I said yesterday that there is nothing to discuss here." Seeing Yang Ruoqian's performance, Yu Zioran secretly thought that this bone was too hard to chew, and he couldn't figure out his psychological expectations or his attitude at all. As expected of an industry elite, he was emotionally invisible, and the whole person was as elusive as if he was trapped in a fog. Even I, who has been working in the live broadcast industry for 10 years, couldn't find any flaws. After 2 negotiations, no useful information was tested. Uziora knew that she had gradually lost the upper hand in the opponent's airtight defense. We are willing to sign Yunnayan Macho Dancer for 6 million. Uziora gritted his teeth and directly put forward all the conditions within his authority, and 5% of the subsequent income of these 2 anchors will belong to your company. If we lose money, you don't have to bear any responsibility. To be honest, this is already full of sincerity. Uziora doesn't believe that any company can refuse a full cash flow of 6 million. Why is this woman a little stubborn? I said there is no penalty for breach of contract. My artists are voluntary to stay or leave. Ms. You seem to have made a mistake from beginning to end. Yang Ruoqian put down the pen in his hand and said seriously, I have talked to you face to face in the office. There is no need to play wit with you. Uziora was stunned, and the expression on her face could no longer be maintained. Only astonishment remained. What does it mean? Do you think I'm just passing the buck and waiting for a better price when I asked you to ask the anchor for his opinion? Yang Ruoqian checked the time and shook his head. Do you think I'm asking for a higher price by saying there's nothing to talk about? No, in our group, everything is done on a voluntary basis by the employees. Those 2 anchors are just a few dozen meters away from us. You can go ask for their opinions first and then talk to me. Uziora's face was filled with confusion, as if she was listening to a fairy tale. Isn't it recommended in your company to talk to the anchor about job hopping without the boss? Others talk to the boss directly when looking for a job. You talk to the anchor directly when changing jobs? Aren't you afraid of a traitor? What kind of entertainment company is this? How can you be so casual? Uziora is already a little mentally disturbed. At this time, Chang Ziking pushed the door open and yelled, Boss, it's been a minute since we got off work. Why haven't you left yet? I'm coming. Yang Ruoqian packed up his things at the speed of light and then said to Uziora, who was stunned, in an apologetic tone, because I have a party to prepare for tomorrow, the whole company will leave work an hour earlier today. I forgot to inform you. Sorry. Let's talk about it next week. Bye. After saying that, Yang Ruoqian fled out of the office and disappeared quickly. Seeing that Kuiguang Entertainment was discarded in just a few tens of seconds, with only a security guard on shift, Uziora felt that his worldview had been greatly impacted. Ah, so no one in your company really works overtime? A full 6 million project. No one is willing to stay and work overtime to get some performance for themselves. What kind of outrageous company is this? Chapter 25. Why do humans like to watch this kind of advertisement? Yang Ruoqian and the other 2 got on the elevator and pressed the button for the basement floor as usual. Gaonayan suddenly reached out and the button for the first floor lit up. Huh? Yang Ruoqian turned his head in confusion. Aren't you going back with us today? Gaonayan touched the ribbon on her forehead and said softly, Landlord, my mother is going to have surgery soon. I have to move to a place near the hospital to take care of her. I may have to give up the lease in the next few days. Chang Ziking frowned slightly and asked with concern, is the illness okay? How much is the surgery? Do you have enough savings? Although Chang Ziking has been making some small declaration of sovereignty moves in recent days, this is not directed at Gaonayan. The 2 are still very good sisters. Yang Ruoqian cast a look at her, expressing the same doubt. Gaonayan smiled. Don't worry, the money is collected. Thank you, Sister Chang. You should be careful when living alone. It's best to choose a house in a community. Yang Ruoqian was somewhat worried about this silly girl. Call me and Chang Ziking if there is anything. Don't think you will bother others. Working alone to earn money and take care of the family must be stressful. Although Gaonayan is delicate and naive, she is strong at heart. If she didn't remind her like this, she might really handle everything by herself without saying a word, just like in her previous life. Gaonayan secretly glanced at Yang Ruoqian, and the corners of her mouth couldn't hide the smile. Yeah, I see. Thank you, boss, for your concern. Ding. At this time, the elevator just happened to reach the first floor. Then I'll go first. Be careful. Take a picture of the license plate before booking a car online. in the underground parking lot. Just like the previous few days, Yang Ruoqian got on the driver's seat and Chang Ziking got on the co-pilot. Yang Ruoqian, let's go to Kayanda Plaza across the street. Chang Ziking fastened her seatbelt and said casually, my classmates will have a reunion tomorrow, and I just want to buy some new clothes. When Yang Ruoqian heard that a woman was going shopping, his scalp tingled. It's just a class reunion. Why do you have to be so solemn and buy new clothes? Chang Ziking raised her red lips slightly. Just buy one. It will be quick. You just wait outside. You don't have to go in with me. It's okay if we are not going shopping. Yang Ruoqian thought about it and finally agreed. Then hurry up. Kayanda Plaza is just across the road from Shengjing Haoyuan. The car turned around at the traffic light ahead and drove into the open-air parking lot. Wait for me here. After Chang Ziking parked the car, she took out a bottle of coffee from her bag and put it on the cup holder next to the driver's seat. I bought it for you. You're welcome. After that, Chang Ziking opened the car door and got out. Yang Ruoqian picked up the bottle of coffee that was still a little cold, unscrewed the lid, and drank 2 sips, muttering, you should walk carefully. You wear such thin high heels every day, and you don't mind that your feet are hurt. After that, he looked at Mixui's City Milk Tea shop boredly doing some promotion everywhere. I know. Chang Ziking closed the car door and quickly walked into the Chiangsam shop. Hello, welcome. The clerk came over and greeted Chang Ziking very enthusiastically. What style of clothes do you want to choose? The clerk saw clearly that this beautiful woman with a good figure had just walked out of a luxury car. As long as there was no accident, she would definitely be a big customer. This one, help me choose a suitable size. Chang Ziking was obviously prepared. She pointed to a water drop collar silk embroidered Chiangsam hung in the most conspicuous position and told her various data. You have a good taste. The clerk complimented and then asked, this style can be customized. What do you think? Unfortunately, there is a class reunion tomorrow. Otherwise it can be customized. No need. Chang Ziking shook her head. The right size will do. Okay, wait a moment. I'll take you to try on the clothes. After more than 10 minutes of trying on the clothes, the clerk looked at the beauty in front of him who was classical with a bit of seductiveness and gave a sincere compliment. This dress really suits you. The exquisite figure was perfectly outlined, coupled with the long legs under the high-slit skirt. Which man would not be dizzy? Not bad. Chang Ziking looked at herself in the mirror. The corners of her mouth curled up, and she smiled like a little fox. Please help me get a smaller size of the same Chiangsam. Pack it up and check out. Ah. The clerk was stunned for a moment. Ah, okay, wait a moment. At this moment, the theme song of the milk tea shop that makes people's ears calloused came faintly from outside the store. You love me, I love you. Mixui's city is so sweet. Listening to the brainwashing divine song that was repeated 5 times, Yang Ruoqian couldn't help but check the time for the 3rd time and complained. It's just buying a piece of clothing. Just choose it, try on the size, pay and leave. Why can it take more than 20 minutes? In 20 minutes, the Mixui's City Milk Tea shop opposite had already done 2 bad jobs. Yang Ruoqian couldn't wait for Chang Ziking to come out and waited for the milk tea shop to do new work. Big summer sale. Let on newspaperson cool down everyone. Newspaperson? Can't you be talking about Uan Rushi? It's only been 1 day and the advertisement has been shot and can be released. So efficient? Thinking that Uan Rushi came to work during the day for the first time today, Yang Ruoqian felt that the situation should be almost the same as what he guessed. Just right. Let's see what an advertisement our company has taken on will be like. Yang Ruoqian straightened his back and saw a big dark-skinned man with a sweet and happy smile on his face, wearing a silver snow crown and a red cape. He used his belly to simulate the belly of the Snow King and began to sing and dance. You love me. I love you. Sweet honey. Finally, Huang Rushi made a big heart with his arms. Yang Ruoqian almost sprayed a mouthful of coffee on the dashboard. Stay away from me. Is this a milk tea shop? This is definitely a black shop. Definitely. Aren't you afraid of scaring away all the customers by advertising like this? Are there really humans who like to watch this kind of advertisement? However, a scene that frightened Yang Ruoqian happened. Not only were the customers not scared away, but more and more people noticed this slightly different advertisement. Some people laughed and picked up their mobile phones to record, while others simply bought a cup of milk tea. The effect of the advertisement was surprisingly good. Yang Ruoqian was not afraid of these milk teas with spiritual pollution, but he thought of something more terrible. The milk tea shop is a national chain, and the advertisement is also placed nationwide. In other words, you may be able to search for the reprint of this advertisement video on the internet now. Yang Ruoqian originally thought that the cheap milk tea shop and Huan Rushi would not cause any waves and could help the company earn some advertising money, but looking at the degree of this activity and the appearance of the onlookers, the popularity of the tough guy's new Treasure Island is expected to be further raised. The fans will also increase. Huan Rushi, you don't even want to give me the 5,000 bonus, right? Yang Ruoqian's mentality completely collapsed. At this time, Chang Ziking had just bought a Cheongsam, opened the car door, and got in the car. Seeing Yang Ruoqian's soul-destroying look, she was very curious. What did you see? Did you lose your soul? No. Yang Ruoqian, who was desperate, stepped on the accelerator. Let's go home. Some people got advertising fees, some people got milk tea, and some people got happiness. Only Yang Ruoqian, while reaping the spiritual pollution, lost all his money. He didn't want to see the milk tea shop again for a month. Milk tea shop, get out of my world. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.